Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics. Back at you with a new video. Today is Monday, June 16th, 2025, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App $ ORIONNWSF or the YouTube Super Chat right here. We got some MLB action this Monday evening. The Boston Red Sox versus the Seattle Mariners. First pitch is going to be here in roughly 5 minutes. So let's cue up the music, take a look at the thumb, and let's get into the starting lineups. Happy Monday, everyone. And on the thumb on the left is the left fielder, Jarren Duran. And on the right, welcome back to the Seattle Mariners, Logan Gilbert. Now, we know about the Rafi Devers trade to the Giants, so we won't be seeing that bat for the Boston Red Sox. It definitely shows you, if you have internal issues with the team, it's not going to work out, and they are going to let you go, and they're going to put the team first. Devers goes to a better team in the Giants, so we'll see where his career goes with a playoff team that might be slightly better than Boston at the moment, but long-term, the trade was probably a good move. Short term, not so much, but long term, I think it will be good. Let's get into the starting lineup now for the Boston Red Sox with no Rafi Devers. Leading off for the Red Sox in left field, Jarren Duran. Batting second, playing first base, Abraham Toro. Batting third for Boston, playing right field, Roman Anthony. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, catching today for the Red Sox, Carlos Narvaez. Batting fifth, playing third base, Marcelo Mayer. Batting sixth for Boston, shortstop, Trevor Story. Batting seventh, playing second base, David Hamilton. Batting eighth, playing center field, Ceddanne Rafaela. And batting ninth, DHing for Boston, Christian Campbell. And on the mound for the Red Sox with a 2-1 record and ERA of 5.45, it is Lucas Giolito. And now let's get into the starting lineups for your Seattle Mariners. Leading off for the Mariners at shortstop, J.D. Crawford. Batting second, playing center field, Julio Rodriguez. Batting third, catching today for Seattle, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, DHing today for Seattle, Jorge Polanco. Batting fifth, playing left field, Randy Arozarena. Batting sixth, playing first base for the Mariners, Rowdy Tellez. Batting seventh, playing right field, Dominic Canzone. Batting eighth, playing third base, Ben Williamson. And batting ninth, playing second base, Cole Young. And on the mound for the Mariners with a 1-1 record, an ERA of 2.37. He's been on the injured list for months. Welcome back, Walter. Welcome back, Logan Gilbert. And we're going to need 6 solid innings. I know it's going to be his first start back from the rehab. We don't really know what Logan is going to look like, if he's going to look like George Kirby did in his first 3 starts, or if he's going to be red hot right out of the gates, or somewhere in between. I'm hoping that he'll be able to get 4 to 7 Ks, and he'll last at least until the 5th inning at the very least, but hopefully goes 6. If he gives up 3 runs or less, we should be very competitive late in the matchup. Magic number for the Mariners, 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits, and if we hit that, we should be able to compete or win this matchup here with Logan Gilbert back on the bump. Let's go, baby. Captain in the building, what's good? All day in the building, what's good? Cole in the building, what's good? And again, it shows you, Rafi Devers, was thinking that he was going to play third base. Then they ended up signing Alex Bregman in the offseason, but they told Devers that maybe Bregman would play second. Then at the beginning of the year, Bregman was taking reps at third, and then they moved him to DH. And then when there was injuries to Bregman at third and also injuries at first, he refused. So it shows you, even if you're a big name guy and if you refuse to be a team player, at some point you're going to be expendable. Now we know Devers is a very, very good hitter, and the Red Sox have a reputation of letting really good players go. Mookie Betts to the Dodgers, Babe Ruth to the Yankees. So this is nothing brand new for Boston. Short term, it's going to hurt. They're going to miss that power in the bat. But I think long term, this is what you need. Otherwise, when you sign a guy to a 5 to 10 year deal and you're only in year 1 or 2 of the deal and you let a guy go, let alone in June, that shows you there's internal problems. And Devers might be one of the faces of the franchise, but he wasn't a true leader. And they need leadership with a lot of the young guys that have got called up lately, like Roman Anthony, as well as Christian Campbell. So definitely interested to see where this team goes. Us as Mariner fans, obviously that's one last bat that we have to worry about. But again, hopefully Devers can work out. For the Giants, he's probably happy that he's going to a playoff team. And as far as Red Sox fans, a lot of them will be a little upset early. But again, I think, having, you obviously didn't get a really good load back in return with the 4 players. But with that being said, it's better to have a locker room that's on, the same level instead of having a cancer in the locker room bringing everybody down. 1-0 pitch gets fouled back behind the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike to Jarren Duran. 1-1 pitch, fouled off again. Right down the middle with the sinker, 97 miles an hour from Logan Gilbert. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Jarren Duran. 1-2 pitch, low and inside at the knees. Tries to jam the hitter with that cutter, 90 miles an hour. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Duran. Top of the first inning, 0-0, Red Sox and Mariners. And Mariners ended up winning 2 games out of 3 in Boston early in the year when the Red Sox and the Mariners battled it out, obviously, at Fenway. And we ended up winning the series 2 out of 3 for the first time in like 10 to 11 years. So it's not often that you can beat Boston. And again, we should be shooting for 2 wins out of 3. But if we win the first 2 games, obviously we're going to be going in for a sweep like we did in the previous series where we did get the brooms. 2-2 pitch, high and away, 4-seam fastball, 96 miles an hour. Good velocity there by Logan Gilbert. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Duran. 3-2 pitch, big swing and a miss. And guess who's back? Logan Gilbert. First game back in months. And what does he do? Strikes out their best player, or one of their best players, Jarren Duran. Let's go. Way to bring that electricity, Logan. We love that. 1 away. Next up, the former Mariner, as well as a former many other teams have had, Abraham Toro. And we'll see what he does here in the 2-hole playing first base. Nice job, Logan. Exactly what we wanted to see, baby. And again, we'll be shooting for 20 likes within the first hour, first pitch. And that gets popped up to JP, 2 away. Great grand salami, obviously on Father's Day. Obviously being a new father as well. And shout out to JP Crawford. Good defense there. Next up for the Red Sox, in the 3-hole, right fielder Roman Anthony. First pitch, high and away with the sinker, 95 miles an hour by Gilbert. And again, Gilbert had a couple rehab starts for our AAA affiliate, the Tacoma Rainiers, and looked pretty good. So this is a very good sign early on. Again, George Kirby was absolutely horrendous in his first 3 starts before he got line drived in the mouth and had to exit in that 3rd start. But obviously in the 4th one, he had a career-high 14 Ks. And I'm not expecting Logan Gilbert to get 10 Ks today, but I'm hoping somewhere between 4 and 7. And he goes 6 innings. And if he does that and gives up 3 runs or less, we should have a good shot. 1-1 pitch, low and away. 2 balls and 1 strike from Gilbert to Roman Anthony. Let's go, baby. So Devers just went yard there for the Giants. And again, the Giants are a playoff team. They're going to be competing with the Padres and the Dodgers. They're in the NL West. All three of those teams are fantastic this year. But again, the Red Sox, they still got a ways to go. But again, you want to make sure you want people that want to be there, not someone that's just getting paid that, isn't putting out the effort and is bringing everybody down. Two-one pitch. Takes a strike looking right down the middle. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Anthony. 2-2 pitch. Back. See ya. Roman Anthony homer to right center. Not a good start there for Logan Gilbert, but hopefully that'll only be the only homer he gives up. Nice job by Roman, one of the newbies there in right field. He goes yard, 1-0 Boston. Red Sox fans rejoice. Next up, catcher Carlos Narvaez. And again, Logan, obviously being with his first game back, there are going to be opportunities for him to be rusty in his first 3 or 4 starts. Was hoping not for a home run within the first couple innings, but there it is. And again, we have to be able to respond. Hopefully Logan can put that behind him. And like I always say, whether it be Brian Wu or Luis Castillo or George Kirby or Emerson Hancock or any of our starters, as long as you're giving up solo jacks, it's not going to hurt as bad. Once it starts being 2-run, 3-run grand salamis, then it really starts to, hit you deeper, obviously on the scoreboard. So I'm okay right now, and I know Logan will be as well. First pitch to Carlos Narvaez, takes a strike swinging right down the middle, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, fouled off right down the middle, four-seam fastball, 97 miles an hour, behind in the count 0-2. And that's what's going to happen. Logan Gilbert isn't one of those guys that's going to be pitching in the low 80s or mid 80s. His stuff is going to be 95 to 98. So it just so happens if you get it right on the sweet spot, there's going to be a good chance that it's gone. And he will paint the corners, but he'll go after you and go right down the middle, trying to throw through the hitter. And unfortunately that time, Roman Anthony connected and he said, see ya. 1-0 Boston. 0-2 pitch. Fouls that one off low and at the knees. Let's go behind in the count 0-2 from Gilbert to Narvaez. Let's go, baby. You can look it up on Google, the exact date, but it's still quite a ways away. And we will be buyers at the deadline. Right field, first base, and 2 or 3 relief pitchers to, that's what I would be guessing. Pitches low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Narvaez. 1-2 pitch, and big swing and a miss. And even though he gave up a homer, Logan Gilbert with 2 Ks in the first inning. And again, I'll take that trade-off. It's not something that you want to be able to see. First home run of his career, Roman Anthony as well. So we can give him credit, bringing the electricity after the Rafi Devers trade. But again, 2 strikeouts out of the first 3 at-bats. Yes, one of them was a homer, but to get 2 punch-outs early, where right now he's pacing for 12 in his first start back in months, there has to be a give and a take. So again, that's a good sign for Logan Gilbert moving forward. And again, hopefully he only gives up 1 more run, whether that be an RBI or another homer. And if he does give up another homer, let's pray that it ends up being just a solo jack. We've seen guys like Castillo and Wu, and Kirby give up a couple jacks early and then settle in. And so again, not the best inning that we've seen for the Mariners as far as pitching is concerned, but 2 punch outs, 1 home run. As long as that ends up not being a regular thing every inning, we'll be just fine. All right, let's see who's up next here for the Mariners to start off here in the bottom of the first. Leading off for the Mariners, shortstop J.P. Crawford. Grand salami in the last matchup to get us the sweep. And J.P. Crawford has been magnificent. He's been playing like an all-star, highest batting average on the team, best OBP besides Aaron Judge in the American League. Will J.P. make the all-star game? Probably not. He probably won't even make it as a reserve because people don't really know who he is outside of, people in the Pacific Northwest or people that watch the American League. But he is playing like a reserve all-star, and again, hopefully that will continue for us. Batting second, playing center field, Julio Rodriguez. Having a good year, started off slow in March and April, had a great May, decent June so far. Didn't really do a whole lot in that Guardian series, so we're going to need you to step it up. Let's go, Julio. And batting third, the best catcher in the game, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. And just like Julio, didn't really do a whole lot in that Guardian series. We're going to be looking for homers in this series to help us win. Tridents up for Cal and tridents up for Julio. Let's go, baby. JP on the brink of getting into 300 territory. Needs one hit and he'll be there. Batting 296. Julio 261, Cal 263, Polo 262, Randy 231, Telez 210. So again, most of the guys are creeping closer, to the 280 mark, which is kind of like the new 300. Since we obviously know pitching is a little bit different now with all the rules changes with, obviously the pitch calm and no shifting. You don't really see a lot of guys batting 300 consistently. 2-0 pitch, high and away, 3-0 count to JP Crawford. Yeah, so plenty of time, Captain, for us to be able to get past the All-Star break. And then after the All-Star break is over, then you get a little bit of time to evaluate, look at the players that are healthy. Anna and Chris in the building, what's good? And that's a 5-pitch walk. We'll take that. Nice job, JP. Whether it be a single, him getting plunked, like we usually see, Randy Arozarena, who ended up getting on base 4 times with 3 walks and a plunk. We'll take it as long as we can move those guys over in runners in scoring position, and hopefully we can tie this up in the first inning. Nice job by JP. Good awareness in the box. Now, hopefully we can get good awareness in the box by this guy, center fielder Julio Rodriguez. And we know, J-Rod, you can do it all. But again, we don't need you to be going for home runs on every single swing. And it would be nice to be able to see a couple 5, 6, 7, pitch counts, in the box instead of him being out within the first 2 pitches. And again, we'll see how aggressive he is here against the Red Sox at home. First pitch, big swing and a miss right down the middle. Slider at 87 miles an hour by Giolito, 0-1 count. And then for Lucas, 2-1 record with an ERA of 5.45. So we should be able to get a few runs on him before this game is up. 0-1 pitch, fouled off right down the middle with the slider again, 86 miles an hour, behind in the count 0-2. Come on, J-Rod. Let's go, Julio. Tridents up, baby. Let's go. 261 average, OBP of 742. 10 homers. And again, Julio is a guy that should be getting 30 homers and 30 stolen bags every year minimum based on being kind of a star. I don't want to say superstar because he's not really a superstar. Like, he started off really great, in his rookie season. But again, is a very streaky player. And if he can ever figure out how to be patient in the box, we're going to get the best version of him. And Julio, little dribbler, and grounds out into the double play. That's the last thing that we need as Mariner fans. Come on, Julio. Hopefully that'll be the only double play that he hits into all series. Next up is big dumper, catcher Cal Raleigh. All right, Cal, we got to make up for Julio getting us into that double play. First pitch, takes a strike looking high and away. 4-seam fastball, 96 miles an hour from Giolito to big dumper. 0-1 count. Come on, baby. Let's see if we can tie this game up within the first 3 innings. Tridents up. Let's go, Cal. 0-1 pitch, takes a strike looking right down the middle, behind in the count 0-2 to big dumper Cal Raleigh. We need that electricity, Cal. Let's go. And we're not going to be able to win against the Red Sox the same type of way that we won in a sweep against the Guardians. We are going to need Cal and Julio both to be productive. I highly doubt that we would even be able to win 2 games if both weren't productive. We might be able to win 1 game out of 3 if Julio and Cal are just not really very active in the entire series. But again, if we want to be able to try to sweep or win 2 out of 3, we need those bats to be early and often. And down goes Cal Raleigh as he flies out to center, and a very easy 1, 2, 3 inning. And I hate wasting opportunities early on when JP gets a hit, or if he gets walked, or gets plunked. You want to make sure that you drive him home, and hopefully we'll be able to get something going here in the next few innings. End of the first, 1-0 Boston. Roman Anthony with his first homer in his career off Logan Gilbert in his first start back in months. He only has a 1-1 record and an ERA of 2.37 before he exited with the injury. All right, let's see who's up next here for the Red Sox in the top of the second. Next up for the Red Sox in the 5-hole, third baseman Marcelo Mayer. Batting second, playing shortstop, Trevor Story. And batting third, second baseman David Hamilton. Try dance up. Let's go M's. There we go. Appreciate you. Captain in all day, getting us there. We're already at 20. Let's see if we can get to 50 sooner than later. And obviously the goal will be 100 in the donos on every single stream. Welcome back, Logan. The home run doesn't bother me. 3 runs or less. If you do that, we should still have a good chance to win. I'm going to go grab my drink here real quick. I think on the bright side with Julio, just to be real, at least he's not striking out. At least he's not striking out looking. The most frustrating to me is when he strikes out swinging, right? That's going to be probably the most frustrating. But also when he goes after that first pitch and then it ends up being a pop-up or a dribbler. That's probably the second most frustrating, if not the first, with him striking out looking, probably third. But again, just being so overly aggressive, but that's his game. And sometimes he's going to hit homers for us. Sometimes he's going to get good, singles and doubles, but it's all those times that he doesn't. Those are the times that we remember more than the ones that he actually does something positive. So we'll see where it goes, as the matchup, continues, and we'll see if he ends up being kind of one of the unsung heroes in this game later on. 0-2 pitch. Low and at the knees from Logan Gilbert to Mayer. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs. 1-0 Boston lead with a first inning Roman Anthony pitch right down the middle, homered off Logan Gilbert to right center, 391 feet. But other than that, that's where we're sitting right now. 1-2 pitch and grounds out to first. There we go. 1 away. We'll take that. Down goes Marcelo Mayer. Next up is shortstop Trevor Story. Top of the second inning with 1 out, 1-0 Boston. And again, hopefully the defense will be on point and Logan doesn't give up too much. And I already feel with 2 punch outs in the first inning, he's going to be much better than what George Kirby was in his first 3 starts back. So first pitch from Gilbert to Story, takes a strike looking high and inside, 0-1 count. Oh, 0-1 pitch, low and away with that slider. 1 ball and 1 strike from Gilbert to Story. Yeah, I mean, again, it's easy to be able to harp on a guy, and whatnot. But again, when you sell your jersey as if you were a superstar, we need to be able to see, superstar type of numbers and effort. And again, we're going to get the effort from him defensively. And, we don't want to take him for granted one bit. We just want him to be able to, stretch those pitch counts a little bit longer to wait for that perfect pitch so he can maximize, his batting average, home runs, and help the team win. And again, sometimes him being overly aggressive will lead to us winning. Him hitting home runs early on and getting big RBIs, but there's also going to be times where it's going to hurt us because he's being overly aggressive and it's just going to be, a little pop-up or dribbler off the first or second pitch. And that definitely gets frustrating over time. 1-2 pitch, fouled off right down the middle with the curveball there by Gilbert. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. 1-0 Boston lead. Logan Gilbert on the mound. Trevor Story in the box. 1-2 pitch. And big swing and a miss. Third punch out for Logan Gilbert already, baby. Way to bring that electricity. We've missed you. Got him. Here we go, baby. Like that. 3 punch outs early. And again, you're going to try to be able to get 2 per inning, for as long as you possibly can. Next up, second baseman David Hamilton. First pitch, high and away. 4-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour, 1-0 count. And honestly, even if Julio doesn't turn into a superstar and he ends up just being a consistently good player and a star on the team, Cal's always going to be the best player on the team, period. Julio will never surpass Cal and what, he's being able to bring to the team, as far as being a leader, switch hitter, power hitter, clutch player. He gives you everything that you want and more, right? But again, if, for every Jordan, you need a Pippen. And again, you're still going to need quality players on the team. And is it possible, as we get out of the inning there, nice job by Logan Gilbert, is it possible that, Julio still goes to a few all-star games, before his career ends? Yeah, and, he may not be a Hall of Famer. It's too early, but so far in these first few seasons, he's not really played like a Hall of Famer, and he hasn't even really played like an all-star in half of the seasons that he's played up to this point. But that doesn't mean that he can't get better. But again, running the bags, he's great. Defensively, robbing home runs and effort and hustle, he's great. Really, the only thing that needs to improve is just being a little bit more patient in the box. And if you're not going to be patient in the box, then you need to be better at reading the pitches early on and then being able to maximize your batting average and getting that to 300. Now, if you're going to swing at the first 2 pitches and you're batting over 300, we're not going to bitch and moan, and you're sitting at, 15, 20 homers, whatever it may be, but again, Julio is a guy that I think that we all envisioned to be kind of the next Ken Griffey Jr., right? So, you want to be able to see 30 to 50 homers. You want to be able to see good production. And again, even if it takes him a little bit longer, we can still make an ALDS, ALCS, and a World Series, even if Julio doesn't get to 30 home runs. Hopefully it'll be in the high to mid 20s, before it's all said and done. But, again, hopefully he'll be able to find the right coaching, the right approach, and obviously the right bat to take him to the next level. Let's go to the bottom of the second inning, 1-0 Boston. Next up for the Mariners, in the 4-hole, DHing today, Jorge Polanco, who started to turn a corner within the last 3 weeks. Nice job, Polo. Batting second in left field, got walked 3 times and plunked, got on base 4 times without a hit. And I like what I'm seeing out of Randy lately as well as a role player. In the 5-hole, Randy Arozarena. And batting third, first baseman Rowdy Tellez. First pitch, low and at the knees to Jorge Polanco from Giolito. 1-0 count. Zay in the building, what's good? Sarah in the building, what's good? $3 holla. Appreciate you. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, little Cactus Jack, bang, bang. We're at 3. 97 to go. Appreciate you. Let me know what you want to do for a photo. Cole with $1. Appreciate you. And every dollar counts. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks. With a little Cactus Jack, bang, bang. Let me know what you want to do for a photo if you want one, and I got you. We're at 4, 96 to go. 2-0 pitch, and that one is fouled off low and away. 2 balls and 1 strike to Jorge Polanco. Yeah, I'm tuning into that as well. Obviously, Ohtani, one of the first guys to be able to not only pitch but lead off and whatnot, and we know how good Shohei Ohtani is, so should be pretty exciting. 2-2 pitch, low and inside at the knees, where Giolito, most of his pitches are going to be inside at the knees, trying to jam the hitter. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Giolito to Polo. 3-2 pitch, and that one is fouled off high and inside, 4-seam fastball by Giolito, 94 miles an hour. Bottom of the second, 1-0 Boston. Roman Anthony with a solo dinger on Logan Gilbert in the first inning, but Logan did have 2 punch-outs as well. And again, we'll see where this goes. 3-2 pitch, and Polo, big swing and a miss, and a nice punch-out there by Lucas Giolito, 1 away. And we're not haters here. We'll give him some love as well. Next up for the Mariners, left fielder Randy Arozarena. Let's go, Randy. First pitch, low and away, takes a strike looking, painting the corner by Giolito, 0-1 count. But the viewership has gone up quite a bit, which is nice. You know, almost 3,000 regular viewers that are visiting the stream. We're hitting 50 likes or more on the regular. You know, things have gotten pretty good. We've been able to get additional countries to be on board. You know, we're hitting 1,000 to 2,500 views, pretty much somewhere in that general range, almost on every stream. Except if it's if it ends up being a holiday or maybe like a rubber match game that's a little early, but as we have a line out there by Randy Arozarena, 2 away. But it's just great to be able to see the hard work is paying off. And again, the better that the Mariners do, the more coverage that we're going to get as well. Bottom of the second, 1-0 Boston. Next up is Rowdy Tellez. Where does Ohtani rank as greatest players of all time? Very high. His career is not even over, but by the time it's all said and done, I mean, if we're talking about, best overall player, for a guy that can pitch as like a top 10 or top 20 pitcher, and also a guy that could be top 2 or top 3 in homers. And, there's not, even Babe Ruth wasn't as good of a pitcher as Shohei Ohtani. So if we're talking about like the best overall player, that can do the most, Shohei, you could argue, is maybe one of the best of all time already. But again, we have to wait for the stats to kind of pile up, for the runs and the hits and the RBIs, the home runs, the championships with the Dodgers, on top of his pitching stats with his Ks, and obviously his win to loss ratio. So, but it's too early to really give him a number since he's still playing. But just like Aaron Judge, these are 2 of the cornerstones of MLB. It's almost like watching, modern day, Mickey Mantle or, Willie Mays together, and they're both playing right now. And we should be very blessed that we have Ohtani and Judge, just like, back in the day, my dad got to see Willie Mays, Hank Aaron, and Mickey Mantle at the same time. And that's kind of what you're getting. 2-1 pitch. Takes a strike looking right down the middle. 2 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 outs. Mr. Williams, long time no see. I haven't seen you in a minute. I saw that you ended up liking one of my posts on Instagram a few days back. And great to be able to see you, my guy. Thank you so much for your love and support. And every dollar counts. And again, we have been, getting more views, and obviously more likes and more subs. So things are starting to obviously, go to another level, which is great. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks with a little Cactus Jack bang bang. And it's always good when we can get the bigger donos, when we get the 20s and the 50s and the hundos. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And he's back at it again with another 20. Dono train for Mr. Williams himself, setting the standard on how this is done. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks with a little Cactus Jack bang bang. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Let me see if I can sprinkle in a few photos here as the donos are flowing in. And again, numbers have been pretty wild. Lauren in the building, what's good? But just to kind of give an update, on some of those people. And we've gained some good subs, obviously lately, but just to kind of give some people a little idea of where we're at compared to where we were even like a month or 2 months ago. We were getting about 1,000 to 1,500 regular viewers. We've doubled it. Now we're around 2,900 to 3,000 regular viewers, and it's baseball. So again, it shows the hard work is paying off. 40% of the people are watching on TV, 40 on a cell phone, 15 computer, 5% on a tablet. Obviously, the age ranges have obviously increased as well. 89% for the males, female 10.6, and that usually runs to about 10 to 15% for female, and then about 85 to 90 for the dudes. And then as far as geography, United States is 70%, Venezuela 6.6, Mexico 4.1, Dominican Republic 2.3, and then we got Philippines, Canada, Japan, Colombia, India, Egypt, Australia, New Zealand, just to name a few. So pretty exciting that people are watching all over the globe, and I love you guys and I appreciate you guys very, very much. And Mr. Williams is doing a dono trade all by himself. 3 donos back to back to back. You guys need to step up your game up and be like Mr. Williams. $50 dono, $20 dono, and another $69 dono. Appreciate you very, very much. And again, that's definitely going to help, with the pup as well as the channel. And thank you so much. I appreciate you. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks with a little Cactus Jack. And it's always nice, when we can hit goal, on stream, and let alone if we can maybe even get to the secondary goal. Some streams, it'll be a little light, but obviously today is the complete opposite, and I appreciate that. 2-0 pitch, or 0-2 pitch to Rafaela, and big swing and a miss. Sedan Rafaela goes down swinging, 1 away. And Logan Gilbert with already 4 punch-outs. Nice job, Logan. Way to bring that electricity in his first game back in months. Gave up a solo dinger to Roman Anthony for his first career home run in the big leagues. But other than that, he's been pretty lights out. Next up, DHing Christian Campbell. First pitch, takes a strike looking inside, 0-1 count. I figured you've been adulting, and I appreciate you very much. We've had some people come, we've had some people go, but it's always good, when you can get people to show a love and support. I'm always going to be there for people. Some people will, have adulting and other things to do, but again, I'm as consistent as they come. I'll always be here. So great to be able to see you, my guy, and I'll try to sprinkle some in for you here through the broadcast. 0-2 pitch, low and away with the changeup. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Campbell. What's good, man? Your Tampa Bay Rays are hot, hot, hot. They got one of the best records in baseball within the last few weeks. I was doing a little reading up on you guys, and keep it going. You guys are averaging about 6 runs per game within the last 2-3 weeks, month. It almost kind of reminds me the same type of run the Mariners were on when we were running about 6 runs per game average or more for about a month and a half. And Campbell strikes out looking. Got him. There we go, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Bring that electricity. 5th K, Logan Gilbert. Walter, I see you, baby. Mouth open, energy, swag, confidence, aura, all of the above. Next up, left fielder, 0 for 1 with a K, Jarren Duran. I think with the Rafi Devers trade, again, they initially brought on Bregman, and they were saying that Bregman would play 2nd and 3rd. Then when spring training and the beginning of the season came, then they had Bregman at 3rd. So then he felt betrayed. Then Bregman got hurt, and they had injuries at 1st. And then he said, no, if you put me at DH, I'm not going to fill in at 3rd or 1st. So it was already a problem there. But the funny thing is now they trade him to the Giants, and they already have a Gold Glover over there playing 3rd in Chapman. So it's like, you're not going to play over Bregman. You're not going to play over Chapman. You go to a better team in the Giants, but you're still going to have to be a DH. You're not going to be able to play 3rd if that's what you wanted. But again, if you're a cancer, in the locker room, no matter what sport you play, even if you're a top 10 or top 20 player, 1-0 pitch in play by Duran. And wow, Duran, go, go, go. And a triple for Duran. That's wild. We got to make sure that we keep him there at 3rd. Next up, the former Mariner first baseman, Abraham Toro. But no matter how good of a player you are, even if you're a top 10, top 20 player, and, you got a 5 or 10 year deal, and they let you go in June, which is unheard of, only like a year and a half into your deal of 5 to 10 years, obviously that means that they don't want to deal with your shit. You were, one of the faces of the franchise, but not a leader. And if you're not going to be on board, for the young guys coming up and setting a good example, you got to get rid of him. And that's what they did. So obviously short term, it's going to hurt them with his bat not being there. But long term, it's going to be better because you're not going to have a cancer in the locker room. And also, he wasn't really hustling. There was a few plays where, he could have got to first and he just wasn't hustling. So again, if you're not hustling, you're not trying, and you're going to be causing problems, in the dugout or, behind the scenes, at some point, no matter how talented you are, you got to let a guy go. And, Boston has had a reputation of letting guys go, sometimes for the right reasons and sometimes for the wrong reasons. They've let go Mookie Betts, Babe Ruth, probably should have never done that. But with this particular Devers situation, it was the right move to make. Top of the third, runner at third with 2 outs, 1-0 Boston. Roman Anthony with a solo dinger in the first. And we got a 1-1 pitch, low and at the knees. 2 balls and 1 strike from Gilbert to Toro. Yeah, and it's great to be able to see, that all the hard work is finally paying off, and we still got a long ways to go, but once we can get to 21,000 subs and in play, and Toro reached on an infield single. Nice RBI there by Toro, 2-0 Boston, and the former Seattle Mariners strikes against his former team. I see you, Abraham. And again, hopefully we can keep this within 3 or less for Logan Gilbert. He's been punching out guys. Again, we just need our bats to light up. Next up, right fielder, Roman Anthony, 1 for 1 with a solo jack in the first. First pitch from Gilbert to Anthony outside, 0-1 count. Let's go, baby. A lot of reading, a lot of film study. Obviously still, keeping up with everything going on in the NBA and the NHL. Obviously those sports are getting close to the end. And then obviously we got football season just a few months away with the NFL and the college football season. So definitely excited about that as well. 1-1 pitch, takes a strike swinging low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 2 outs. 2-0 Boston. What's good with you? Any new TV shows? Anything new, in your life that you'd like to share? Anything that because we haven't seen you in a little bit. Anything that any Disneyland trips for you, Mr. Williams? Have you gone to any Dodger or Angel games? Have you seen any new movies or shows? What's going on in Mr. Williams' world lately? And Anthony strikes out. There we go. Logan Gilbert gave up the RBI, but the punch-outs are real. 2-0 Red Sox. All right, let me see if I can get a few photos here sprinkled in before we get too far behind with all the donos and the dono train. I know Sarah wanted Aaron Judge. We'll get a couple Aaron Judges up here. And then we'll see what Cole wants. If there's something specific that he wants, and then anything that you're looking at, Mr. Williams, you let me know and I got you. Sprinkle in. Let's see if I can find one more here. Let's go to the bottom of the third inning, 2-0 Red Sox. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for your support. Yeah, I know it's kind of crazy too, because I was actually reading some articles, talking about how Boston has let so many really good players go to other teams. And then there was a guy that was a National fan, and he says, "Tell me about it." And then he shows a photo. And if you remember, they had Bryce Harper, right? But then they traded him, and then they ended up winning the championship after he left, right? But they had Bryce Harper, Trey Turner, before anyone knew who Trey Turner was, and Juan Soto early in his career. Imagine if they were able to stick with those 3 guys on the Nats, on how good they would be now. But again, all of those guys have kind of elevated their games, but it definitely shows you, that you're not able to keep everyone long term. Just missing in action, nothing too crazy. Some work and some play. Okay, I feel you. Yeah, a lot of the comments started coming through. Let me get you some big dumper. I got you. Best catcher in baseball, baby. First pitch to Dominic Canzone. Right down the middle, taking a strike, looking from Giolito, 0-1 count. Let's see if we can sprinkle in some cows here for Cole. And then Mr. Williams, anything that you want to be able to see, you let me know. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for your support. And every dollar counts. You know, it'll really help going towards the pup and continuing the dream, just to, you know, pay the basic internet bill, the streaming fee, just the basic stuff that I need to continue to do this as my dream full time. Bottom of the third inning, 2-0 Red Sox. Giolito on the mound and Dominic Canzone in the box. 1-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss by Dominic Canzone. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Dirty Dom. Let's go, baby. 1-2 pitch. Low and at the knees with the slider. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Dominic Canzone. Let's go, baby. Make sure you make some me time for yourself. You know, it's always important to have the me time. You know, I'm going to go see the Pirates and the Mariners on the 4th of July with my best friend. And, you know, that might be the funnest thing I do all year. You know, we usually go to a couple Blazer games in play on a 2-2 pitch and singles to left. Nice job by Dominic Canzone. But, you know, I only go to 1 or 2 Mariner games a year. Back in the day, it used to be 3 before I had Paisley, but I got to be a good dog father, right? So I can't really be away from her that long. You know, a couple Blazer games, 1 or 2 Mariner games, and then usually going to the arcade with my buddy and then maybe Voodoo Donuts after, you know, something like that. But we even haven't done that in a minute. So next up for the Mariners, here on the bottom of the third, Big Ben Williamson. First pitch, inside with the slider, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike looking in the zone. 1 ball and 1 strike to Big Ben Williamson. Lucas Giolito on the mound, Ben Williamson in the box. 1-1 pitch, fouled off high and away with the slider, 87 miles an hour by Giolito. 1 ball and 2 strikes with a runner at first and no outs. 2-0 Red Sox lead. Yeah, but I'm walking 5 miles a day, 7 days a week for the last 2 years. So I've been able to, you know, keep the weight off on a big diet. You know, don't eat fast food anymore. Don't really drink soda. You know, don't really drink anymore. You know, I'm really trying to focus on my mental health and my physical health in play. And Williamson singles to left. Now we got runners on first and second. But again, pretty much all I do is read, watch film, you know, grind on this channel 7 days a week, and then, you know, spend time with my pup. And, you know, obviously, do I miss a lot of my other friends that live here in Oregon? Yeah. But, you know, sometimes when you have dreams and goals and you have to be a parent, whether that be to a child or a dog or a cat or whatever your situation may be, you know, sometimes you got to make sacrifices for what's important to you. And Paisley and the channel are the 2 most important things in my life. So I have to dedicate my life to those 2 things. All right, next up for the Mariners from AAA Tacoma Rainiers just a few months back, Cole Young. First pitch, high and away. 4-seam fastball, 94 miles an hour, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch. Takes a strike looking high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Giolito to Young. Let's go, Cole. We need you, baby. Let's see if we can get something going here out of Cole Young. 1-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss with that changeup. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Cole Young. Come on, Cole. Find a way. Oh, where in Washington does Moms live? Hunger Games. Nice. I mean, I'm doing Goldberg's, you know, obviously on Hulu for something funny sitcom wise that's kind of recent in play, and Young singles to left. Let's go. That's one of the first times that we've had back-to-back hits, and now we got bases loaded for the guy that hit a grand salami against the Guardians just a day ago. J.P. Crawford. Let's go. J.P., you're not going to do it again, are you? Let's go, baby. JP hits a homer here. Grand salami, get the mustard and rye bread. We're right back in it, but hell, I'll take an RBI single, RBI double, him getting plunked, him getting walked, and us getting a freebie. We have to make sure we get at least one, but hopefully at least two with no outs with bases loaded. First pitch, high and away. Four-seam fastball by Giolito in a jam. 1-0 count. But I got Goldbergs. I'm watching old school like Perfect Strangers on like Pluto, which is a streaming app that's got a lot of free stuff on there, a lot of old school shows, which are pretty cool to be able to go back into my childhood. Still doing the Transformers, G.I. Joe, Ninja Turtles from the 80s. And then obviously on Netflix, what am I doing? I'm doing Shameless. I'm doing Blind Spot, which is brand new, Blacklist, Fear the Walking Dead. I did all of The Walking Dead and all the spinoffs. And then obviously Resident Alien, obviously new season 4 just debuted. They're only on their second episode. So that's what I'm kind of dipping into lately. It's either like FBI shows like Blacklist or Blind Spot, kind of end of the world zombie stuff with like Walking Dead. And then, something to make me laugh, that's kind of my wheelhouse, throughout the days. 1-1 pitch, big swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Giolito to Crawford. Let's go, JP. Let's go, baby. And JP's been playing the best out of any player on the Mariners lately. Playing like an all-star. Probably won't make it, even as a backup, but definitely playing amazing. OBP is second in the American League just to Aaron Judge. Career with bases loaded, 400 average, 6 doubles, 2 triples, 5 grand salamis. This is the guy to have up, with bases loaded, hands down. 1-2 pitch. And big swing and a miss and a rare strikeout for J.P. Crawford. Had that grand salami on Father's Day, and him being a new father with a baby daughter definitely gave him the motivation. Couldn't get it there, but now we have an opportunity for a guy that was kind of cold during the Guardian series. Maybe he can step up. Julio Rodriguez. On deck, Cal Raleigh. You should be able to tie the game up, you would think, with Julio and Cal up next, but, we'll wait and see. New Predator anime. First pitch to Julio. Takes a strike looking right down the middle. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss by Julio behind in the count 0-2. Bottom of the third inning, 2-0 Red Sox. Bases loaded now with 1 out. We got to get at least 1, in this inning, preferably 2 or more, but we will see. Nice. And obviously you got to be excited about the Rams. It kind of feels like they're going to be the best team now in the NFC West. Niners are rebuilding, Seahawks are rebuilding, Cardinals are always bad. So this should be the year that you guys end up winning the division, and then it'll be, a little bit of a fight, obviously, for that second spot. I assume the Niners will get it, and then Hawks and Cardinals will be battling probably for that third spot. So we'll see where the season goes, but as long as you don't have any major injuries, it's really your guys' division to lose, and you should be able to win, 10 to 13 games pretty easily. 10 on the low end, 12 or 13 on the high end, and Sean McVay, he's always been one of my favorite, and it'll be exciting to see what you guys do this year. 1-2 pitch, and that one is fouled off. 1 ball and 2 strikes with bases loaded and 1 out. Come on, Julio. 1-2 pitch, low and at the knees. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez. Come on, J-Rod. We need you, baby. We can't have you be quiet. We need you to step up. Try that's up. I'll have a couple ESP moments, even with baseball. And big swing and a miss. Down goes Julio Rodriguez with bases loaded. Not ideal. 2 away. Come on, Julio. Next up for the Mariners, catcher, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Let's go, big dumper. You've already solidified yourself as being the best catcher in baseball, right up there with Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani with homers. Exciting to be able to have our very own Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani in Seattle, but we need more. And again, we're just starting to get healthy, but hopefully we can get guys like Julio that we need to step up on more of a regular basis. First pitch, high and away, fouled off with the changeup, 0-1 count. Yeah, but I was really wanting to watch Blind Spot, and then finally Netflix brought it back with some kind of weird ESP. The only other show that I want to watch that I haven't been able to get access to is Westworld, because obviously HBO took it off because they didn't want to pay the actors for residual rights after the show ended, which is kind of bullshit, because I always thought that sci-fi show was one of the coolest, and again, I would love to be able to rewatch it. Hopefully HBO will bring it back at some point. 0-1 pitch. Takes a strike looking there on the line, inside by Giolito. No balls and 2 strikes with bases loaded and 2 outs. We had bases loaded and no outs. Come on, Cal. Yeah, I mean, I think worst case scenario for the Seahawks, maybe 7-10. Obviously if they're, and down goes Cal Raleigh, brutal, big swing and a miss. JP, Julio, and Cal get nothing, and we leave bases loaded, stranded. Brutal. And we've already left, runners stranded earlier on in the matchup already. We're going to have to find a way and dig deep. And again, Logan Gilbert hasn't been perfect, but he's been K-ing a lot of guys. We just need to be able to get our hits so that way this 2-0 lead doesn't get any bigger. But again, hopefully it'll get better as the game goes on. But again, Seahawks, 7-10, if they underachieve and whatnot, and they might be able to win 8 or 9 games, but best case scenario for them, if they overachieve, would be probably getting to 10. I don't see them maxing out over that, because they don't got Geno, they don't got DK, they don't got Lockett. Sam Darnold is a downgrade to Geno. Offensive line still needs work. Defense needs work. Obviously, we know the Niners lost some players on offense and defense, so they're not going to be as good. But the Rams, that's the team that has continued to get better and better and better, even without Aaron Donald, and that's the team to beat in the division. And obviously for the Bucs in the NFC South, I'm trying to win the 5th consecutive NFC South crown, which I think they will, even though I think the Falcons will be better. Saints going in the wrong direction. We'll see what the Panthers do. Eagles will be the best team in the East. We already know that. And then you're going to have obviously the Lions and the Packers and the Vikings dueling it out, as the Bears, being little brother looking up at big brother and the 3 other teams. So, again, you're always going to have a worst to first or third to first. In every single year, there's going to be a surprise team or 2 from each conference, AFC, NFC, but just based on looking at how the teams are constructed after the draft and free agency, you can kind of get an idea, as long as there's no serious injuries, which there always is, on who's going to be good this year, but there always is going to be some surprises. All right, top of the 4th, 2-0 Boston. Unfortunate that we weren't able to get something there, but again, we'll still be able to come back. It's early. Anything that you want to be able to see photo-wise? Mr. Williams, you let me know. Any Dodger players, you want some Shohei Ohtani, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, you let me know. I got you. Next up for the Red Sox, catcher in the 4-hole, Carlos Narvaez. First pitch, high and inside, 4-seam fastball, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, high and away with a 4-seam fastball, 94 miles an hour. 1 ball and 1 strike from Gilbert to Narvaez. Let's go, Logan. All right, 5 more likes to 40. Let's get there. The goal is 50 or more, so we should be able to get that. And what are we at on the dono train? 73, 74, plus 69. We're at 143, I believe. 1-1 pitch. And big swing and a miss by Narvaez. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Narvaez. Top of the 4th inning, 2-0 Red Sox lead. Come on, Logan. One-two pitch. High and inside, fouled off, 94 miles an hour. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Carlos Narvaez. 1-2 pitch. And flied out to left to Randy Arozarena. 1 away. Next up for the Red Sox, 0 for 1, third baseman Marcelo Mayer. Yeah, Ben, unfortunate that we weren't able to get anything, but that's the Mariners for you, right? It's like, just because we have guys at second and third and no outs, first and second and no outs, or even bases loaded, no outs or 1 out, doesn't mean that we're going to score. And it sucks when we end up, not getting it done, but we had the 3 best guys to do it in JP, Julio, and Cal, and unfortunately, sometimes that shit happens. Or when JP ended up getting walked and then Julio hit into the double play and, ended up pretty much ending that inning as well. But at least that we're getting hits, so that's the one thing. At least we're not striking out left and right and we have no hits up to this point. So, there always has to be a bright side to a bad situation. And hopefully things will get better as the game goes on. Luck will fall into our laps at some point. 0-1 pitch, fouled off, high and away by Mayer. Behind in the count to Logan Gilbert, 0-2 here in the top of the 4th inning. Now, definitely looking forward to the new South Park and the new King of the Hill on Hulu as well coming out. Bobby is older and a cook in his 20s and whatnot. And again, some of the individuals have died recently and in the past. Obviously with Luann, quite a few years ago with her character that played her. And, you had John Redcorn got murdered recently, got shot by his neighbor. So we're not going to have John Redcorn's voice, unfortunately. And then Dale ended up passing away. So, he did record a few episodes, like 5 or 6, before he ended up passing away. But, half of the cast. But again, when you go 10 or 20 years after you end the show and then you start it again, some individuals are not going to be around. And I think the show is still going to be good, but definitely going to miss some of those voice actors that I enjoyed in King of the Hill. 0-1 pitch, low and away with that slider. 1 ball and 1 strike from Gilbert to Story. Thank you so much, man. And then anytime, in the future, if you got a little bit more time, I'll be able to take care of you. But I'm going to throw up at least 1 Dodger photo. Let me get you at least like a Shohei here on your way out. I appreciate you very, very much. And thank you for your love and support and thinking of me today. And again, I know you're busy adulting, but always make time to come through, even if you can't donate, just to come say hi. We love you, we miss you, and I appreciate you very, very much. Have a good rest of your day, and I'll hook you up with some photos when you got a little bit more free time down the road. Appreciate you, man. Hope you come back soon, and thank you so much for your generosity. We don't get big donos like that every day, and it definitely feels good when you get love and appreciation in that type of way. Thank you so much. Top of the 4th inning, 2-0 Red Sox. 2-2 count from Gilbert to Story. Appreciate you, my guy. Much love. Can't wait to watch Rams games with you this fall. Two pitch, fouled off with the splitter inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 outs. 2-2 pitch, low and away with that curve. 82 miles an hour by Gilbert. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 outs. Red Sox with a 2-0 lead. Mariners have gotten a few guys stranded, even bases loaded. They're in the bottom of the 3rd with no outs and got nothing. But I still think that we'll be able to compete as long as our bullpen, if they end up being decent. If the bullpen ends up being decent, we should be able to come back. But if they end up being bad, we're probably going to drop this first game, but it's still a little too early. Cool kid in the building. What's good? And we're at 143 on the dono train for either all day and captain or both. So we got 57 to go to get the second goal. And 3-2 pitch, and that's a walk. And Logan Gilbert doesn't really walk a whole lot of guys, but Trevor Story ends up taking advantage of that. Trevor Story to first. Next up, second baseman David Hamilton. Top of the 4th inning, runner at first with 2 outs. And hopefully we get out of this inning unscathed, which I believe we will. Chris in the building, what's good? Trust in the building, what's good? And we've gained a few subs here tonight as well. Shout out to the new subs to the channel. 32 subs to get to 20,900, 132 to hit the magic number, 21,000. That's really the goal, for obviously, this season. And the sooner that we can get to that number, then we can go to the next goal, which would be 22,000. So just trying to climb the ladder. But we already got the biggest sports channel in Oregon. Now the next step is to get the biggest sports channel in the Pacific Northwest, Oregon and Washington, and then eventually having the biggest sports channel in Oregon, Washington, or California. But obviously that's going to take some time, to go from 20,000, 30,000, 50,000, and then eventually 100,000 down the road. 2-1 pitch from Gilbert to Hamilton, incoming, top of the fourth, 2-0 Boston with a runner at first. Gilbert on the mound, Hamilton in the box. Sweeping the Yankees, obviously very hot, the Boston Red Sox. 2-1 pitch, fouled off right down the middle. 2 balls and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 2 outs. 2-0 Boston. I still think that we can win this game, and I'm impressed with Logan. Again, I was hoping that he would be good. Yeah, he gave up a solo dinger and then an RBI, but I mean, if we're really being real, the Mariners should already have 2, 3, 4 runs at this point if they were able to connect with JP, Julio, and Cal, or at least one of them, But again, sometimes that's just the way that the cookie crumbles and the way the ball bounces early on, but we still have half of the game to catch up. 3-2 pitch, and got him. There we go, baby. Gilbert gets us out of the inning. Let's go to the bottom of the fourth, and let's get our first run of the series. Next up for the Mariners, in the 4-hole, DHing today, 0-for-1 with a K, Jorge Polanco. And Polo's been very good within the last few weeks. And again, he was uber hot in April, getting 9 homers, batting .384, and then cooled off and only had 1 homer in about a month and a half after that. But within the last 2 to 3 weeks, he's been getting a lot of singles and a lot of RBIs and helping us win. Shout out to Jorge Polanco. Batting second, 0-for-1, left fielder Randy Arozarena. Last matchup against the Guardians, he got walked in his first 3 at-bats. And then on his 4th at-bat, he got plunked. So he was able to get on base 4 times without even getting a hit. I've not seen that before in 2025 for the Mariners. He's the first. And we'll see if Randy can continue his hot streak, getting on base, whether it be walks, getting hit by a pitch and plunked, or getting a single or a double, which he's been able to do lately as well. And that's, been a part of the Mariners' success. It's not just JP, Julio, and Cal, and Miles Masterboni. You're getting others that step up, role players, and we need it. Let's go, Randy. And batting third, 0-for-1 with a K, first baseman Rowdy Tellez. An occasional homer here and there. And again, we just need to be able to be consistent as much as possible. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Let's go, baby. And again, 48% of our runs are typically home runs. So, hopefully we get 1 or 2 homers in this particular game, because if it ends up being just hits, it's going to be hard to be able to come back unless we can get on a rally where we get like back-to-back hits. And it's kind of a damn shame, because when's the last time that we got Canzone, Williamson, and Young to go back-to-back and hit? It's like never happened. So it's kind of unfortunate that JP, Julio, and Cal, who are normally more trustworthy than those 3, those were the guys that ended up choking, where normally maybe it would have been Canzone, Williamson, and Young choking. But again, it's still early, and hopefully we can find a way against Giolito. First pitch to Giolito to Jorge Polanco, high and away, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, Low and inside, 2-0 count to Jorge Polanco. 2-0 pitch, in play, and pops out to second, 1 away. Nothing for Polo at that at-bat, but hopefully he'll get something later on. Next up for the Mariners in the bottom of the fourth with 1 out, left fielder Randy Arozarena. Let's go, Randy. Oh, 1 pitch. Takes a strike looking high and away. Behind in the count, 0-2 to Randy Arozarena. And normally we don't bust out the Moose until maybe the 6th, 7th, or 8th inning, but we're doing it now, especially after leaving a few of those runners stranded. We're going to need the comeback as soon as possible. Let's go, Mariner Moose. 0-2 pitch, low and away. Tries to paint that corner. Could have went with the strike, but they call it ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Lucas Giolito to Randy Arozarena. 1-2 pitch, fouled off with the changeup, low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Randy Arozarena. John in the building, what's good? Jacob in the building, what's good? Anna in the building, what's good? One-two pitch. High and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Giolito to Randy Arozarena. 2-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss. And down goes Randy, 2 away. Next up for the Mariners, Rowdy Tellez. Come on, Rowdy. And sometimes Rowdy will be that guy that gets that solo dinger to kind of start the party. And, every time he hits it deep, if he doesn't get a homer, he usually barely misses it. But hopefully it's not just a slow dribbler. He's had a few of those early on as well. And down goes Rowdy Tellez. Damn it. Way too quick in that inning, especially when we had back-to-back hits with Canzone, Williamson, and Young and got nothing out of JP, Julio, and Cal. End of the 4th inning. We're only down 2. Logan Gilbert has done a good job. But again, the bats need to come alive. It's not like they have Devers playing. He's on the Giants now. Mariners, focus and step up, because after this Boston series is over, right, we're going to be on the road for a while, and it's not going to be easy. So hopefully we can find a way to win 2 out of 3. We do got Brian Wu on the mound tomorrow, and then Luis Castillo, which I have confidence in both of those guys. But winning the first game in the set is obviously very, ideal for momentum in Uncle Mo. So. And for all day and for Captain Oreo, we're at 143, 57 to go. Let's see who's up next here for the Red Sox in the top of the 5th. You got to be patient, as fans. We're not going to capitalize on every opportunity. It is baseball. It's not, it's going to be, one of those things like, a lot of times when I have the ESP and I get them to get double plays and back-to-back innings and we get out of jams. And, the same thing goes for us. We're going to hit into double plays like Julio did. And there's going to be times where we have bases loaded or runners at 2nd and 3rd with no outs and we get nothing. It's frustrating, but again, eventually it's going to lead to something good. Trust me. Next up for the Red Sox, 0 for 1 with a K, center fielder, Ceddanne Rafaela. Sweet photo. Nice action shot there. Batting second in the 9-hole, DHing one of the newbies, Christian Campbell. And batting third, left fielder, Jarren Duran. Let's go Mariners. First pitch from Logan Gilbert to Rafaela. Fouls that one off high and away, 0-1 count. Logan Gilbert right now, believe it or not, has 8 Ks. It's a very quiet 8 Ks. I don't know if people realize that he's got that many. Right? Giolito's got 6. So it is kind of a pitcher's duel, but something's got to give. I mean, that's pretty fucking phenomenal if you think about a guy that's been gone for months to have 8 Ks. But again, he is our best pitcher on the staff normally, right? We know George Kirby and Brian Wu have made, obviously, an impact on the team. And when George is healthy, he's typically like a top 20 pitcher. Gilbert, when healthy, is a top 10 pitcher in MLB. And Brian Wu might be our best pitcher this year because those two guys were injured. Really, the weakest guy is Bryce Miller, who's on the IL right now. And we've had some pretty good production from Emerson Hancock, as well as Logan Evans, who's now in AAA. And even Luis Castillo has been better this year than he was in 2023 and 2024. So, we're looking really good for the starting pitching. It's just the bullpen and the hitting. And eventually we'll figure it out. 1-2 pitch. And that one is fouled off at the hips. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Rafaela. 1-2 pitch. 4-seam fastball, high and inside, tries to jam the hitter. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs. 2-0 Red Sox lead. And if you're just tuning in, Roman Anthony with his first MLB career home run against Logan Gilbert in the first. 1-0 Boston. And then Abraham Toro, the former Mariner, reached on an infield single to second. Duran scores, and that made it 2-0. We had Julio hit into a double play in the first, and then we ended up having bases loaded and no outs in the third. Got nothing. But again, hopefully we'll be able to, get something on Giolito, before he exits. 1-2 pitch, low and at the knees. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Rafaela. Sedan Rafaela in the box. Logan Gilbert on the mound. Let's go, Logan. In play. And Rafaela flies out to center, 1 away. Thank God. Down goes Rafaela. Next up, in the 9-hole, DHing today, Christian Campbell. Logan's been out since April 25th. It's been a long time. But, anybody to get 8 Ks, he's not even done yet. Like, he might actually get to 10 Ks in his first start back. I don't remember too many guys that have been injured for months, and then in the first start, they get, almost 10 Ks. So that's a very good sign. We just need the Mariner bats to help Logan Gilbert out. 0-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss by Campbell. Behind in the count now 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. Oh, 2 pitch, low and away with that slider, 86 miles an hour by Walter, a.k.a. Logan Gilbert. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Campbell. Let's go, baby. Top of the 5th, 2-0 Boston. And again, we just want Logan to give up 3 runs or less. 2 was perfect. Obviously, it would have been nice if it was still 0-0 or 1-0, but this is the MLB. And Campbell strikes out looking. There we go. 9 Ks. And if we can get Duran to K out, that'll be 10. Let's go. Christian Campbell, see ya. Great electricity out of Logan Gilbert. And again, this is a good sign for Mariner fans, so we get our ace back. And if George Kirby can keep getting better, and everyone ends up being healthy, even if that means that Emerson Hancock takes Bryce Miller's spot, so be it. If Bryce is injured this year, at least we have 2 other guys other than Bryce that we can go to, Logan Evans and Emerson Hancock. But I think right now, Emerson Hancock, is trustworthy. More than Logan Evans, more than Bryce Miller, obviously, who's injured. And sometimes Emerson Hancock is even better than some of the other guys. He'll be just as good as George Kirby, just as good as Luis Castillo. May not be on the Logan Gilbert level. Nobody really is. But Brian Wu, obviously, is the closest thing to Gilbert. And it's nice to see the pitching staff dominate. Now we just need the hitting to get to that point. 0-1 pitch. Takes a strike, swinging low and away. Behind in the count 0-2. And if Gilbert can get this last K in the 5th, he'll be at 10. He's at 9 right now. Beautiful. Come on, Logan. Let's see if we can get this 10th punch out. And the Mariners don't get punch outs like this that often. Back maybe a couple years ago, everyone could get 10. But as of late with the rule changes and whatnot, it's pretty hard for guys to get to 10 Ks nowadays. 0-2 pitch. 3 feet off the plate with that splitter. Tries to get him to chase, and he doesn't bite. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 outs. Gilbert on the mound. Jarren Duran in the box. And Abraham Toro on deck. And Duran strikes out swinging. There we go, baby. See ya. What electricity for my man Logan Gilbert. First start back since April 25th. Is that what they said? April 25th? My goodness. 10 Ks after being gone for months. Unbelievable. Way to bring that electricity. Now we just need that to carry over to the guys that are in the batter's box. Nice job. Way to be Logan. All right, let's get on the board, baby. I see you, Logan. 10 Ks, you fucking baseball god, you. Love having you back. I mean, hell, I would have been cool with 5 Ks today, but again, 10? Yes, please. Let's go, baby. We don't want to waste an opportunity where a guy has got 10 Ks, in his first game back. And just remember how bad George Kirby was in his first 3 starts. He was absolutely terrible. So again, every starting pitcher, even if you have a guy like Scoopball and Skeens, you just want everyone to give up 3 runs or less in 6 innings. And if you can do that, you should be able to get 4 runs or more. You're not going to win a lot of baseball games scoring 1 to 3. But if you get to 4 or 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits, that definitely ups the ante and gives you a much better chance to be able to compete, let alone win. All right, we're in the bottom of the 5th. We got to stop fucking around. Let's see if we can get on the board and just at least get 1. It doesn't have to be tied up or take the lead. Let's just stop the bleeding so we can stop looking at this fucking donut, this 0, and we can get to 1. Next up, 1 for 1, Dominic Canzone. On deck, batting second, 1 for 1, Ben Williamson. And then batting third, 1 for 1, Cole Young. Let's not waste this opportunity. Let's go, Dom. First pitch, low and at the knees, 1-0 count. Come on, Dom, let's go. Bottom of the 5th, 2-0 Red Sox. And again, Giolito's got quite a few Ks himself, but not as much as Gilbert. Logan Gilbert with 10 Ks, 5 innings pitched, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 10 Ks, 84 pitches, 57 strikes, 2.55 ERA. Giolito, 4 innings pitched, 3 hits, no earned runs, 1 walk, 6 Ks, 66 pitches, 42 strikes, 4.95 ERA. And in play on a 2-0 pitch and pops out into the outfield, 1 away. Down goes Dom. 1 for 1 with a single in the 3rd. Next up, third baseman Ben Williamson. Let's go, Big Ben. First pitch to Ben Williamson, high and away with a 4-seam fastball, 1-0 count. One-0 pitch, low and away with the slider. 2 balls and no strikes from Giolito to Williamson. Let's go, Big Ben. And Cole Young on deck. Come on, baby. We need our young guns to step up. And especially if we get good production out of the 7, 8, 9 hole, we don't want to make sure that carries over momentum-wise to the 1, 2, and 3, JP, Julio, and Cal. 2-0 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Tries to jam the hitter inside at the elbows and does. 2 balls and 1 strike with nobody on and 1 out. 2-0 Red Sox. We need to also consider bunting and kind of playing small ball. No one has to go for home runs. just try to get on base. And then once we get on first, we can't get thrown out in between the bags. We need to be able to steal second and then get a runner in scoring position. Takes a strike looking. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. Come on, baby. Giolito on the mound and Williamson in the box. 6 Ks for Lucas Giolito. 2-1 record with an ERA of 5.45. Come on, Mariner Moose. We need you, baby. Let's go, Big Ben. See if we can start your day off 2 for 2. And Williamson strikes out looking. Damn. 2 away. Down goes Big Ben. 7th K there for Giolito. 10 for Logan Gilbert. So 17 combined. Solid. Pitcher's duel. Next up, second baseman Cole Young. Let's go, Cole. And then even if we have to wait for Giolito to go out, if their bullpen is shaky, all it takes is one bad pitcher, and the Mariners can score 1 to 5 runs in even one single inning. But it kind of feels like that might be the route that we're going to have to go. Hopefully we're only down 2-0 in the 7th, and then we can rally back in the 7th, 8th, and 9th as one of the top 3 teams in MLB in those innings. First pitch from Giolito to Young. Takes a strike looking, low and away, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, low and at the knees. Change up, 82 miles an hour by Giolito. 1 ball and 1 strike to Cole Young. Come on, baby. It's a Cole world, baby. Let's go. 1-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss by Cole Young. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And a 1-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Down goes Cole. And Giolito now with 8 Ks. 18 combined. Giolito with 8. Logan Gilbert with 10. And I guess that's just the type of game that we're having so far. A pitcher's duel between Logan Gilbert with 10 Ks and Lucas Giolito with 8. Wow. End of the 5th inning. 2-0 Red Sox. Next up for the Red Sox in the top of the 6th, 1 for 2 with an RBI. Former Mariner, first baseman Abraham Toro. Batting second, right fielder, who had a solo dinger to give him the 1-0 lead in the first, Roman Anthony. And batting third, catcher, 0 for 2 with a K, Carlos Narvaez. Let's go Mariners. And Bizzardo's coming in. Logan Gilbert's day is done based off pitch count. But I think a good performance. We've seen like George Kirby, and Luis Castillo and a few guys give up, back-to-back homers or homers in the same inning. But again, as long as it's 2 or less, once it goes to 3 or more, then you start kind of getting a headache and you start to feel like, oh, I don't know. Once you get down 3 or 4 or more, it gets a little, worrisome. But when you're only down 1 or 2, you still feel like it's in reach. Like even though we're down 2-0, it doesn't feel like we're down 4-0 like it would when we were on our losing streak. But after sweeping the Guardians, it feels like we're only down 2, not that we're down 4. So again, all it takes is 1 solid inning or 1 home run, and we're right back in it. So 1 swing can change this whole approach of the game. All right, Abraham Toro up next. And then obviously the final line for Logan Gilbert in his first game back was a great one. 5 innings pitched, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 10 Ks, 84 pitches, 57 strikes, 2.55 ERA. Obviously, we would love for him to go another inning, but again, first game back, we don't want to have anything get re-aggravated. We need him moving forward. And then they're going to bring in Bizzardo, who is probably our 3rd best relief pitcher. So I don't mind him. Matt Brash 1, Gabe Spire 2, and then I think Bizzardo is 3 as far as trust. And I don't really bring up photos of guys in the pen because most of them aren't worth a photo except for Brash and Gabe, but Bizzardo is worth one. So hopefully Bizzardo will recognize the photo op and we'll take advantage of it. First pitch from Bizzardo to Toro, takes a strike looking right down the middle, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, high and away, takes another strike looking on the line, behind the count 0-2 to Edward Bizzardo. Top of the 6th, 2-0 Red Sox. 0-2 pitch, fouled off low and away. Slider 81 miles an hour by Bizzardo. Top of the 6th, no balls, 2 strikes, nobody on, and no outs. 2-0 Red Sox lead. Oh-2 pitch. Inside with the sinker, tries to jam the hitter at the hips. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Bizzardo to Toro. One-two pitch. Slider low and at the knees, fouled off. Nice souvenir for that fan. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Abraham Toro. Come on, Mariners. We need a comeback. Two balls and 2 strikes from Bizzardo to Toro. And we should be able to see Luke Raley at some point as well. Two-two pitch. Slider fouled off. Low and inside at the hips. 2 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs. Bizzardo on the mound, filling in for Logan Gilbert, who had 10 Ks in 5 innings. Pitched very, very well. You know, for a guy to give up a solo jack, no big deal. And there was an RBI. But again, you know, the magic number is 4 to 5 runs. Mariners got 0. You can't win, you know, if you can't score. So pitching was excellent for Gilbert, and hopefully Bizzardo will be good as well. And now Abraham Toro is on the ground. I don't know if he fouled one off himself, but he's injured, and now he is on the ground in the dirt as the training staff is around him. Hopefully Abraham Toro is okay. Appreciate you all day. Appreciate you, Captain. Yeah, fouled it off himself, which doesn't feel good. Oh, right off the top of the fucking knee where there's no padding. Ouch. Holy fuck. No wonder he went down. I thought he maybe got hit on the foot or on the thigh or something, but right on the top of the knee where you got a little bit of meat, on the bone there on the top. But man, that's going to bruise like a motherfucker. Hope he's okay. 2-2 pitch. And fouls that one off with the slider. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Bizzardo to Toro. 2-2 pitch. Inside. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Bizzardo to Toro. Come on, Bizzardo. And again, if you're going to give up a walk or a single at your first at-bat, then we have to get the slow dribbler up the middle for the double play to get out of it. We just can't give up, hit after hit after hit. And there it is. A 10-pitch walk. Toro grinding out that at-bat after he fouls one off himself, goes down on the ground in pain, and still ends up getting a walk out of it. Nice job by Abraham Toro. All right, next up, right fielder Roman Anthony, who had a solo jack on Logan Gilbert in the first. And we're going to need a slow dribbler right up the middle to JP or Cole Young, and a throw to Rowdy to get close to out of the inning. Obviously, we have no outs, not one, so it's not like the inning will end for us. But to go from no outs to 2 outs, that's what we need. First pitch to Roman Anthony, fouled off right down the middle, 0-1 count. But we need that slow dribbler for that double play at this at-bat. And if it's not going to be at this at-bat, it's got to be the next one if we end up getting a punch-out on Anthony. 0-1 pitch, fouls that one off right down the middle, behind in the count 0-2. Bizzardo really testing right down the middle of the plate. I mean, that's exactly where Logan pitched it, and Roman Anthony went yard. So Bizzardo's got to be a little careful here by testing the hitter, throwing literally right down the middle on back-to-back pitches, and both of them fouled off. It's a little bit behind the ball, both of those pitches. If he was right on the barrel in the sweet spot, the game would be 4-0. Come on, Bizzardo. Be smart here. Top of the 6th, 2-0 Boston. Runner at first and no outs. In play, and Anthony flies out to left. There we go. 1 away. All right, here we go. This is the double play that we need right here. Next up, catcher in the 4-hole, Carlos Narvaez. Slow dribbler right up the middle to JP or Cole. Throw to first, out of the inning. First pitch, takes a strike looking in the zone by Bizzardo, 0-1 count. We need a double play here. If we're going to hit into a double play with Julio in the first inning and we're going to have bases loaded in the third inning with no outs and get nothing, something's got to go our way as well. Let's go, Bizzardo. And there it is, baby. My ESP strikes again. Double play, and we get out of the inning. And again, I'm gonna have that ESP once or twice or 3 times in the matchup. But there we go. You ask, and you shall receive. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Slow dribbler. Perfect, just like I called, baby. Let's go. Sports gods, they listen. They like this channel. All right, we get out of the inning like I said we would, and let's go to the bottom of the 6th and see who's up next here for the Mariners, and let's get on the board. I mean, we've already gone this long. It's time, okay? Next up for the Mariners, 0-for-1 with a base on ball and a K. Shortstop, J.P. Crawford. Let's go, J.P. You've been money. Let's get it. Batting second, 0-for-2 with a K, center fielder, Julio Rodriguez. Let's go, J-Rod. Right, it's up. And batting third, 0-for-2 with a K, catcher, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. We'll take a single. We'll take a double. But again, we need homers. Let's go, baby. Let's go, Cal. I'm going to get my pups some food. I'll be right back. One 0 pitch, high and away. 2 balls and no strikes from Giolito to Crawford. Man, we need to get Giolito out of the fucking game so we can start hitting. And Giolito's doing just as good as Logan Gilbert, wheeling and dealing. 2-0 pitch, takes a strike looking in the zone to JP Crawford. 2 balls and 1 strike to JP. Come on, baby. 2-1 pitch, fouls that one off. High and away, 4-seam fastball, 93 miles an hour by JP, playing like an all-star lately. 2 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs. We're in the bottom of the 6th, and we need to get at least 1. It's just to give us a little bit of faith here. And if we can get 1, then we know we can get 2. 2-2 pitch, 4-seam fastball fouled off high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Giolito to Crawford. Giolito, 2-1 record with a 5.45 ERA, and again has been solid today, like Logan Gilbert. At this point, 5 innings pitched, 3 hits, no earned runs, 1 walk, 8 Ks. So he's got a chance to match Logan to get to 10. 82 pitches, 52 strikes with a 4.84 ERA, but we need to be able to get a few runs here at some point. Two pitch. Outside. 3 balls and 2 strikes to JP Crawford. 3-2 pitch. And down goes JP. Nice punch out there by Giolito. 9 Ks by Lucas. 1 more, and he's at 10 like Logan Gilbert. I don't know if I was going to think that we would have almost combined 20 Ks out of the starters today, but that's where we're at. Next up, 0 for 2 with a K. We need you to be a hero, my guy. We can't have you do, minimal football, baseball, basketball, hockey, type of effort. We need you to be a star. We're paying you like a star. You need to act like a star. And sometimes you get those guys in baseball, basketball, football, and hockey where, they may or may not be overpaid, but at one point or another, you got to be able to help your team win. First pitch from Giolito to Julio, fouls it off right down the middle, 0-1 count. J-Rod in the box. And Cal Raleigh on deck. Trident's up. Come on, J-Rod. 0-1 pitch. High and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to Julio Rodriguez. One pitch. Fouled off. High and inside. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez. Come on, Julio. We need you to step up. Come on, J-Rod. Bottom of the 6th. Nobody on. 1 out. 1-2 count from Giolito to Rodriguez. And again, we can still, have a nice, 7th, 8th, and 9th inning. Sometimes you just got to wait for the starters to go out for the game to open up, and that was kind of a regular thing for the Mariners for the last 3-4 years. And Julio strikes out swinging. Wow. 10 Ks for Giolito, 10 Ks for Gilbert. Phenomenal. I don't think I've seen 10 and 10 all year. Nice. All right, next up, the guy that typically can help us get things going, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. 0 for 2 with a K. I mean, even if it ends up being just a solo jack, right? Like in this photo, just a solo homer, and we can get to 2-1. I mean, that's a lot better than sitting at the scoreboard 2-0. Let's go, baby. Come on, Cal. Someone needs to get the party started here. And obviously, Giolito's been wheeling and dealing, so we might have to just wait after he gets out, but hopefully Cal doesn't strike out, so Giolito gets 11, and then Logan only gets 10. Hopefully they stay at both 10, but we'll see. First pitch fouled off, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch in play, and Raleigh grounds out to second, throw to first, and that's the end of the 6th inning. So we're not going to have 11 Ks by Giolito, but again, you got to make sure you give credit where credit needs to be given. Lucas Giolito, 10 Ks. Logan Gilbert, 10 Ks, but Red Sox were able to get a little bit on Logan, and we weren't able to get anything off Lucas. And now after Lucas' exit, hopefully we'll be able to start getting some hits and some home runs to give us a chance in this game. All right, let's go to the top of the 7th inning and see who's up next for the Red Sox. Next up for the Red Sox, 0 for 2 with a K, third baseman Marcelo Mayer. Batting second, 0 for 1 with a base on ball and a K, shortstop Trevor Story. And batting third, 0 for 2 with a K, second baseman David Hamilton. Let's go, M's. Let's take a look at pitch counts. And we're going to bring in Zach Pop, who we actually sent down Logan Evans for. We'll see how good Zach Pop is. But let's see the pitch count. Logan Gilbert is at 84, and Giolito is at 91. So we're not going to see Giolito, thankfully, come back in the 7th inning. So at least that's good for us. And then we'll get a chance to see Zach Pop, and hopefully Zach Pop doesn't fuck this game up for us. But this will be the first time that we're seeing him since being called up. First pitch, takes a strike looking right down the middle, 96 miles an hour by Pop. And again, if that name rings a bell at all, you might have heard of him back in the day when we played the Blue Jays. Not the most popular name, but again, if you're a hardcore fan, you'll remember. Marlins as well, but I think most of the people remember him on the Blue Jays. But he's made his rounds with a few teams, but most notably Marlins and Blue Jays. 0-1 pitch, high and inside with a cutter, 93 miles an hour. 1 ball and 1 strike from Zach Pop to Mayer. One pitch in play, grounds out to first, 1 away. So far, so good for Zach Pop. Next up, shortstop Trevor Story. Six more likes to 50. Let's get there, baby. Yeah, Blue Jays can have Trent Thornton back. One game away from the championship, Captain Oreo. You're going to get it, man. I told you would. You're going to either win it in 6 or 7, depending on if the Pacers have anything left in the tank. 1-0 pitch. Gets fouled off by Trevor Story. 1 ball and 1 strike from Pop to Story. Top of the 7th, 2-0 Boston, and hopefully we can keep them at 2 the rest of the game. And then we're going to have to try to get 3 runs here in 3 innings, or at least 2 runs, and then maybe get the 3rd one in extras. But got to find a way to be able to get some production here. 1-1 pitch, fouled off with the cutter. This time around, 94 miles an hour by Zach Pop. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. Pop on the mound, Story in the box. Judah in the building. What's good? 1-2 pitch. High and away with the cutter. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Pop to Story. Yeah, but the thing is even though game 7s haven't been good for them in the past, they haven't had this type of roster. So even if it did go 7, you would win. Again, it's just because you got to look at where SGA is in his career. Anytime that they had game 7s prior, they weren't good enough to win the championship, let alone even get to the finals. This team is the best team in the NBA, and they have been the whole year. So, as long as they don't have any major injuries, they'll be just fine. In play. And Story grounds out to the shortstop, throw to first. 2 away. Next up, 0 for 2 with a K, second baseman David Hamilton. Adrian in the building. What's good? Top of the 7th, 2-0 Boston. Logan Gilbert, 10 Ks in his first game since April 25th. Very impressive. And Giolito, equally impressive with 10 Ks as well. I just wish that we were able to get at least a run at this point. But Zach Pop looked good. Will Zach Pop be our 3rd best guy, even better than Pizzardo, and be right there with Matt Brash and Gabe Spire? I don't know. But Pop looked pretty fucking good for us right there. And let's go to the bottom of the 7th inning and see who's up here for the Mariners. I feel confident that we can get it done. And again, all it takes is one bad pitcher. Mariner fans, we should know that more than anyone. We could have someone pitch amazing for 6-7 innings, and then all of a sudden here comes Trent Thornton or Colin Snyder or Legumina, and then all of a sudden they give up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 runs, and then we fucking lose, right? So the same thing can happen for the opposing team, but we'll see if we can at least get on the board and make this a little bit more competitive. Next up for the Mariners, 0 for 2 with a K, DHing Jorge Polanco. Batting second, 0 for 2 with a K, left fielder Randy Arozarena. And batting third, 0 for 2 with a K, first baseman Rowdy Tellez. We need to go 1 for 3, 1 for 3, 1 for 3. Let's get it done, baby. Come on, Mariner Moose, it's time. Now Wilson's coming in for Giolito, so we don't got to worry about Lucas anymore. But great job by both pitchers getting 10 Ks each. Hard enough to get one guy to 10, but for both guys, pretty wild. Yeah, again, when, initially they signed Bregman, they talked about him going to second and Devers playing third, but then in spring training and then obviously in the regular season, Bregman played third and they moved him to DH. And then when there was injuries to Bregman and injuries to your first base, spot, he didn't want to play either spot and just wanted to stay at DH. And even when he was DH, he wasn't showing a lot of effort running to first, causing problems in the dugout and in the locker room. And again, if you're going to have a guy that is a bad seed, even if he's a top 10, top 20 hitter, it doesn't matter. Again, normally when guys are only in their, first or second year out of like a 10-year deal, they're not usually going to get traded in fucking June. But again, it's better to get rid of the bad seed, even if they're a good hitter. So that way that, you might have been, one of the faces of the franchise, but you weren't a leader. And again, you need to set a good example for the young guys, for Campbell and for Anthony and a lot of these young up-and-coming guys. They're going to be looking up to guys like Devers. And if you're going to have a shit attitude, it's not going to work. So short-term, they're going to miss Devers' bat, but long-term, it's better. Now, obviously, they didn't get anybody in return to the Devers value, but just getting Devers out of there should improve the team, overall, for at least mental health-wise, moving forward where they can be all on the same page. Obviously it makes the Giants better, but guess what? He got pissed that they had Bregman, who's a Gold Glover at third. You just got traded to the Giants. They have a Gold Glover over there that might be better in Chapman. So it's not like he's going to get to play third over there either. He's going to have to play DH. So he might still have the same kind of issue, but goes to a better team. But we'll see how it all plays out. 0-2 pitch, in play, and Polanco gets a single to third. There we go. Here's our rally, baby. I like it, baby. Polo. And again, as soon as you bring in a new pitcher, what happens? Mariner gets a hit. That's what I'm talking about, baby. We got to fuck Wilson up here. And he's got an ERA of 2.25, so we'll see where it goes. Nice job by Polo. Next up, Randy Arozarena. First pitch at the knees. Tries to jam the hitter. 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch. Fouls that one off low and inside by Wilson. 1 ball and 1 strike with a runner at first and no outs. Let's go, Randy. This is the inning where we get a run. Let's go. Yeah. And again, for like the Mookie Betts and the Babe Ruth, we obviously have known there's been some big guys, Roger Clemens, that have all gone to, other teams and had success, but this is like probably one of the first times where you had a guy that was talented, but just had a shitty attitude, and again, was not a team player. I've never heard of a player that's considered a top 10, top 20 hitter, refuse to play a position. When a team needs you, you play it instead of being stubborn, just because you're mad that they brought in Bregman, you shouldn't be jealous, and then Bregman got hurt and you still didn't want to fill in. So, those are the type of guys that you don't even want on your team. And I wouldn't want Devers on the Mariners at all. And Arozarena pops up to the shortstop, 1 away. And I think most Red Sox fans that actually know baseball, they understand that this is obviously a short-term move that's going to hurt the bats a little bit, but long-term it's going to work, because at least you don't have a cancer in the locker room anymore. But it also sets the example that, you could be a great player, but if you have a terrible attitude, see ya. Next up is Dylan Moore. And they're having Dylan Moore hit for Rowdy Tellez since it is a lefty. Not sure if this would be the person that I would want hitting. Not to say that I would want Mitch Garver or Donovan Solano. But crazy to say, in this particular situation, I think I would rather have Donovan Solano hitting right now than Dylan Moore. And normally I would say Dylan Moore, 99 out of 100. But Dylan has been kind of cold lately. So if he ends up being a hero here, it would be shocking because he hasn't been good lately. And Donovan Solano has actually been better, as of late. He was terrible at the beginning of the year, starting 4 for 40, batting 100. But within the last month, Solano has had, some games where he's had a hit or two, and he still sucks. Same thing with Garver. But, Dylan has been a streaky player, but has been, striking out and not really being very effective as not an everyday player. So Demo is better when he actually plays every day. Once you start playing him once in a while, now the best case scenario, we have to pray for a walk or he actually gets plunked. 1-0 pitch, low and at the knees. 2-0 count from Wilson to Demo. And Polo steals second. Here we go. We're finally in a position to score. Last time we were in this position where we had bases loaded with no outs in the third and we got nothing. Bottom of the seventh, runner at second. 2-0 pitch. And pitches outside. 3 balls and no strikes to Dylan Moore. And there we go. The one thing that we fucking needed is Dylan Moore to get walked or plunked. And boom, it happened. And that's again, because he's been striking out a lot in 3 pitches. Swing and a miss, swing and a miss, swing and a miss, gone. So that's actually great. Now we got runners at first and second and 1 out. And now we need a little bit of magic right here. Dominic Canzone. Let's go, Dom. Make it happen. 3-run jack would be great. But even an RBI single to get us on the board. Bottom of the seventh, runners at first and second and 1 out. Let's go, Dom. Yeah, and also you have to look at not only the talent of a player on the field, how are they off the field? And Mookie is a class act, and should have never let a guy like that go. First pitch, and Canzone pops out to third, 2 away. Brutal. Come on, Dom. We needed you to hit that deeper so guys could at least tag up and we could have them at second and third, but we get nothing. Next up, our last opportunity here. Runners at first and second with 2 outs. 1 for 2 with a K. Ben Williamson. Let's go, Ben. First pitch, low and at the knees. 1-0 count. Now, if we can get Ben Williamson to walk and we have bases loaded for Cole Young, I think Cole could get an RBI single and make it 2-1, and then we would have JP up, and then something special could happen. But I'm not sure if we're going to get to that point. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike looking on the line. 1 ball and 1 strike with runners at first and second and 2 outs. Mariners are a good hitting team with 2 outs, and we're very good in the 7th, 8th, and 9th. We're one of the top 3 teams late in games to be able to rally. But again, hopefully we haven't dug ourselves in too much of a hole here. 1-1 pitch, takes a strike looking on the line. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Ben Williamson. Come on, baby. Let's go, Big Ben. Bring that electricity. And 1-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss, and we leave him stranded again. Brutal.
That looks really high.
It is high.
Down goes Big Ben, and that is the end of the 7th inning. Great pitching by the Red Sox. And remember, we won 2 games out of 3 in Boston. And when we did that at the beginning of the year when we were hot, that was the first time that we actually won a series in Boston in 10, 11 years. So it's not like we usually do good against a team like this, regardless on who's on their roster or not. And they are just coming off a sweep of the Yankees. So this is not going to be easy, but I still have faith in the 8th and the 9th that we can get 1 and 1, or 2 runs in the 8th or 2 runs in the 9th. And then hopefully we can try to find a way to win this game 3-2 in the 9th or in the 10th or the 11th. But we can get that first run and have a little bit of light and a little bit of faith. Let's see who's up next here for the Red Sox in the top of the 8th. Next up for the Red Sox in the 8th, In the 8-hole hitter spot, center fielder, Ceddanne Rafaela. Batting second in the 9-hole, DHing Christian Campbell. And batting third, leading off, left fielder, Jarren Duran. Let's go Mariners. Try to answer out. Great job by Lucas Giolito. Great job by Logan Gilbert. 10 Ks each. Haven't seen that happen too often in 2025. Not just the Mariners, but overall. Pitchers duels. And hopefully we can find a way to get close here. I mean, the Mariners have more hits than the Red Sox. You know, we have 4, they have 3. But again, they have a solo dinger by Roman Anthony, first homer in his big league career. Logan Gilbert right down the middle, and he got it on the sweet spot. And then we had an RBI single by Abraham Toro. So it's not like, you know, we're getting whooped. But again, you know, something's got to give at some point here. First pitch, and Rafaela grounds out to second, throw to first. 1 away. Down goes Rafaela. Next up, in the 9-hole, DHing Christian Campbell. First pitch to Campbell, right down the middle. Takes a strike looking, 0-1 count. Oh-1 pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Pop to Campbell. So they're having Pop play 2 innings. So this will be interesting to see like how good Zach Pop does. But so far, just the eye test, looking at Pop, who played on the Marlins and the Blue Jays, he looks pretty good. I mean, we need to see a little bit more, but so far he doesn't look too bad. Campbell with a single to center there, and hopefully now we can get a double play and end the inning. All right, next up, left fielder Jarren Duran. You know, and it doesn't matter if you walk a guy or you get a guy that gets a single, like you just saw there with Christian Campbell, but that gives you a good opportunity for a slow dribbler right up the middle to JP, Cole Young, and then to Rowdy, and then we can get out of this inning, hopefully. But out of position there for Cole Young, couldn't get to it, but hopefully JP and Cole will be right in the right spot here. Duran, slow dribbler, right up the middle, throw to first, and we get out of the inning. And then we'll go to the bottom of the 8th, and we'll have obviously 2 more chances to try to tie or win. Jarren Duran in the box with 1 out, runner at first. Zach Pop on the mound. And Pop's day is done after giving up that 1 hit. Now I'm curious to see where we're going here. Oh God, no. Coming into the game for Zach Pop, Trent Thornton, the worst player on the team, 7.71 ERA. You got to be shitting me. Really? I would have taken our chances with Zach Pop. And then, you know, even if he gets that slow dribbler, you know, and we can get out of this inning. But now you're going Trent Thornton. This game could go from 2-0 to 5-0 in a matter of 30 seconds. So let's pray that Trent Thornton doesn't fuck this game up. Oh, no. Trent, out of anybody, Trent? Golly. Nice. We hit the 50 likes. Let's see if we can get to 60 before the stream ends. Great job by Captain. Great job by All Day. Appreciate you guys with the support, as well as all the people that have donated and showed love. Sarah, Cole, Mr. Williams, and Mr. Williams. Fucking Trent Thornton. How the hell are you on the fucking team still? Jesus Christ. I mean, the reason that we're acting this way is that he's the worst player on the team. He gave up 5 home runs within the first 15 games. Then he got hurt, and he's the guy that's most likely to give up 5, 6, 7 runs in an inning. Obviously we know Colin Snyder and Legomina aren't trustworthy either, but Thornton is the guy that gives up not only hits, RBIs, but he gives up costly home runs. So we'll see if he can get us out of this, inning here. I hope so, but I don't have too much faith. First pitch, right down the middle for a strike to Jarren Duran. That's shocking. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, high and away, fouls that one off, gets Duran to bite. Behind the count now, 0-2 for Trent Thornton. Well, I would give him a chance, but imagine on, your Tampa Bay Rays, you had a guy that fucked up, 9 times out of 10. Are you still going to have faith after you've seen him, 10 times and he's fucked up 9 times out of 10? No, you're going to, just watch to see what happens and pray that this is going to be the one good time out of 10 opportunities where he doesn't fuck the game up, even worse than we're already in right now. 0-2 pitch, fouled off, low and at the knees. He's 1 strike away from getting it to 2 outs, unless we can get a slow dribbler from Thornton to get out of the inning. But again, Thornton and Garber are the 2 worst players on the team right now. And then obviously Solano's garbage most of the time and has been a little bit better lately. And then we got other guys in the pen that are not trustworthy, like Legomina and Colin Snyder and a few others. So in play, all the way to the wall, and Duran flies out to center. Thank God that wasn't a homer. But again, I have to evaluate based on what I see, and I'm watching every game beginning to end. So, and I've been a fan of this team for 40 years. So I think I know guys that are good and guys that aren't, It's more than just the eye test and stats. It's a trust level. And I think every fan of baseball has a trust level, with pitchers, relief pitchers, and closers, where you trust them or you don't trust them. Next up, the former Mariner, first baseman Abraham Toro. First pitch, takes a strike looking in the zone, 0-1 count. But so far, so good from Thornton, but we're not out of it yet. 0-1 pitch. Should have been called strike, paints the corner, but called ball. Bad call by the ump. Should be 0-2. Now it's 1-1. 1-1 pitch, high and away, fouled off. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Thornton to Toro, and we're 1 strike away from getting out of this inning. Come on, Thornton. No, there is no reverse jinx. Thornton is just shit. I don't even want him on the AAA affiliate. I would cut his ass right now if I was in charge. Even if he gets us out of this inning, he's not worth having on the team. The closest thing that he is probably Sauce, and Sauce is not even on the team anymore. That was early on. Just guys that continue to fuck up, and for every once in a blue moon, even a blind squirrel gets a nut once in a while. But definitely the most untrustworthy guy on the team is Thornton. 1-2 pitch, fouled off. 1-2 pitch, and got him. And somehow, some way, Trent Thornton actually gets us out of an inning, thank God. And now we're down 2-0. All right, baby, we have 2 more chances now. I'm glad that we're not down 3, 4, 5, because if he even gave up 1 run, the game is over. So good thing there that we got out of it. Now we just have to pray that the bats come alive here in the 8th and the 9th. Next up, 1 for 2 with a K. Second baseman, Cole Young. It's a Cole world. Let's go, baby. Batting second, 0 for 2 with a base on ball and 2 Ks. Shortstop, JP Crawford. Let's go, JP. And batting third, center fielder, Julio Rodriguez. Come on, J-Rod. At some point, we're going to need you to step up. If you're not going to step up in the first, you're not going to step up in the 3rd or the 5th or the 7th. We're running out of time here. And obviously, we need you to produce late. Not only Julio, but we're going to need Cal as well. Let's go. Let's go, baby. We need a rally. Bottom of the 8th, we're down 2. $10Ks for Logan Gilbert, 10Ks for Lucas Giolito. Something's got to give, and hopefully our bats can come alive here in these last 2 innings. And Red Sox are going to go from Giolito to Wilson to Weissert. So we'll see what Weissert has on the table. 2.81 ERA. And hopefully we can find a way to have something positive here with Cole Young. We'll take walks and we'll take plunks if we can get them. You want to hit us? So be it. Just don't injure us. And we'll take walks. 1-0 pitch. Inside at the knees. 2 balls and no strikes to Cole Young. Let's go, Cole. Two-0 pitch. High and away, and this is the pitcher that we were looking for, someone to fuck it up. And there we go, 4-pitch walk to Cole Young, our 9-hole hitter. Perfect. This is exactly what we needed to have happen here in the bottom of the 8th. Should have stuck with the last pitcher in Wilson. Here we go. All it takes is one pitcher to fuck up and have an epic meltdown. And if you want to look up epic meltdown, look at that Guardian series and how we were able to win that. Next up, J.P. Crawford. Let's go, baby. Guardians were up 3-2 late, with their closer, and then he ended up choking and had an epic meltdown. Mariners came back and won 4-3 in the 9th. And so anything is possible. But now, JP, we're going to need you. Bottom of the 8th, runner at first. JP Crawford up next. First pitch, low and at the knees. 1-0 count. This guy can't hit the strike zone at all, and I love it. Keep it going, JP. Don't bail him out, swinging for no reason. Calm, cool, collected. Let's go, baby. Let's go, Crawdaddy. You can do it. And obviously, with one swing, JP can tie this game up. But, at this point, we don't even need that. We'll take it if it's there, but just let him pitch and don't swing, and we can have bases loaded. 1-0 pitch. Another ball. Low and away. 2 balls and no strikes. 6 consecutive balls by Weissert. And, again, that's what we've been looking for. Let him know all day. And we're at 143, 57 to go to hit the goal, to hit to 200. Bottom of the 8th, 2-0 Red Sox. 10Ks for Giolito, the starter for the Red Sox. 10Ks for Logan Gilbert in his first game back since April 25th. Very impressive. Bats have been cold. Pitching has been great. And now it's our time to come back and tie the game up. 2-0 pitch. Low and away. 7 consecutive balls to 2 hitters, and we're 1 ball away from having runners at first and second and potentially coming back and winning this game if we don't fuck it up like we did in the 3rd inning with bases loaded and no outs and got nothing. But I believe if we get bases loaded, no outs in this inning, that won't happen again. Especially with a guy that can't hit the strike zone. 7 consecutive balls? Yes, please. And let's make it 8, baby. There we go. Back-to-back walks for Young and JP. ESP is on point, baby. Let's go. Epic meltdown happening. All right, here we go. Time to be a hero, not a zero. Center fielder Julio Rodriguez, 0 for 3 with 2 Ks. Don't fuck this up by swinging. Sit there and don't fucking swing. If you don't swing, you're going to get walked. If you swing, you're going to get out, more than likely. And again, a 3-run homer would be great, but at this point, recognize who's pitching to you. It's not Giolito. First pitch would have been a ball, and what does he do? Swing. Idiot. Fouls it off, 0-1 count. God, Julio, learn. It's like he's got no fucking awareness. It's like, when you go to a party, and then, you have to, look around and kind of read the room. Julio does not know how to read the room. Understand that the guy pitched 8 consecutive balls and walked the first 2 guys. Why the fuck are you swinging? Julio, not the brightest light bulb in the bunch. And I love him. But, fucking A, dude. 0-1 pitch in play. Lines out, 1 away. What a fucking idiot, dude. all you had to do is not swing, and more than likely you would have been walked. And that shows you the immaturity of Julio Rodriguez. I love the guy, but he ain't no Cal Raleigh. And again, he's got a long ways to go from being an all-star or a consistent player. And he sure as hell ain't going to the Hall of Fame, at least at this point in his career. First pitch to Cal Raleigh, and he swings on the changeup. Big swing and a miss, 0-1 count. That would have been a strike even if he wouldn't have swung, so I'm okay with that one. Come on, Cal. 0-1 pitch. That one is outside of the strike zone, and Cal swings at that one, behind in the count 0-2. Cal doesn't have any patience here either. Come on, Cal. Again, it would be great for you to be the hero and get a 3-run jack, but read the room. It's like if a pitcher pitches 8 balls in a row and walks the first 2 guys, read the room. Like, don't bail him out. And like Julio bailed him out. Cal looks like he's going to bail him out unless he can get a perfect pitch that he can get to go yard, and we can go up 3-2. But we'll see here. Hopefully Cal has more patience than Julio. 0-2 pitch, low and away with the sweeper, 82 miles an hour by Weissert. 1 ball and 2 strikes. A big dumper, Cal Raleigh. If Cal doesn't swing the rest of the way, he might be able to get on with a walk. 1-2 pitch, low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes with runners at first and second and 1 out. Come on, Cal. I mean, that's where you can tell, with guys that watch film, guys that do extra batting practice, guys that actually listen, to guys like Edgar and Ichiro as Cal strikes out swinging. Fuck. 2 away. All right. We're down to Jorge Polanco, and Polo actually has been pretty good for us in the last, month or so. So again, he had 9 homers and batted .384 in April. He's not really a home run hitter anymore. He's more of a single hitter, but even if he gets an RBI double here, it'll be 2-2. RBI single, it'll be 2-1. So let's see what we can get here out of Polo, and this might be our last shot to be able to come back unless we can have a miracle like we did in the 9th inning when we were down 3-2 and they had an epic meltdown with their closer, the Cleveland Guardians. First pitch, 3 feet off the plate, 1-0 count. But I really believe if Julio would have been patient, maybe Cal would have as well, and then maybe we could have ended up getting a better RBI situation. But of course, Julio always trying to be a hero, and again, for Cal Raleigh, Cal is Cal. He's going to be more clutch than Julio. But again, if you're not going to do anything in the beginning of the game, you're not going to do anything at the end of the game, something's got to give. And you got to be able to read the room. And Julio obviously is more about, it feels like himself than the team sometimes. Subconsciously or unconsciously, I don't know. But, you don't have to be the hero every time, because when you put that much pressure on yourself, what happens? You usually don't get anything. 1-1 pitch, high and away. 2 balls and 1 strike from Weissert to Polo. Come on, Polo. This might be our last chance. No guarantee we get runners at first and second in the 9th with no outs, 1 out, or 2 outs. Come on, Polo. And down goes Polo. We leave 2 stranded. You got to be fucking kidding me. End of the 8th inning, 2-0 Red Sox. Especially after, 8 consecutive balls, from Cole Young, who normally doesn't get walked. He's not threatening. And then you get 4 balls to JP, and then you got Julio trying to fucking be like Aaron Judge or Shohei Ohtani or even Cal Raleigh this year. You're not a fucking all-star. You're not the best player on the team. You're hurting us, not playing within your potential. All right, let's go to the top of the 9th, and hopefully we can keep it 2-0, because if they score even 1, game over. But if we can keep it at 2, we're going to have a small shot, maybe, 5% chance, 10% chance, if depending on if they have an epic meltdown like the Guardians did, when we were down 3-2 and we ended up winning 4-3, scoring 2 in the 9th. But that's not going to happen every time. Again, a lot of times if you don't get anything in the 8th, depending on who's up, and if they have anybody pinch hit, we may or may not get a run or 2, or we might get nothing. And then the Red Sox win 2-0. So we'll see where it goes, but I pray that we can get something here in the 9th. But let's go to the top of the 9th first. Next up, 1 for 3 with a solo dinger against Logan Gilbert for his first home run in the Bigs. Right fielder Roman Anthony. Batting second, 0 for 3 with a K, catcher Carlos Narvaez. And batting third, 0 for 3 with a K, third baseman Marcelo Mayer. Let's go Mariners. And I better not see Trent Thornton still in the game, but we'll see what happens. We went Gilbert, Bizzardo, Pop for the very first time, and then Thornton got us out of that last inning. But are we dumb enough to go Thornton again? And again, this will really determine, what we have as a manager. Is Dan Wilson actually Scott Service with a mask on, or is he better? And sometimes he's better than Scott, but also sometimes I feel like we have Scott Service all over again. And Thornton is back out there in the ninth. Are you kidding me? What is he doing? He's acting like Trent Thornton is Matt Brash. Wake up. Fucking A, Dan. Dan Wilson got some goddamn CTE. Jesus Christ. First pitch, takes a strike, looking right down the middle, 0-1 count. Well, you better be the good Trent, not the one that fucking makes us lose here. 0-1 pitch. That one's fouled off, behind in the count 0-2 to Roman Anthony. Oh, 0-2 pitch, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Thornton to Anthony. Yeah, but again, it's not as bad as it was in 2023 and 2024. We're not striking out, 15 times a game. Again, we're not scoring, 1 or 2 runs every day. Again, this team is much better than what we were. We're going to go through the ups and the downs, and we just have to have the right combination. And, again, it's a pitcher's duel today. And again, Julio and Cal really haven't given us a whole lot lately, so that needs to change. 2-2 pitch, low and at the knees. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Roman Anthony. But again, we did win 2 games out of 3 in Boston at the beginning of the year, and that's the first time that we swept Boston in like 10, 11 years. So it's not like this team is easy to beat, and they're just coming off a sweep on the Yankees. And the Yankees are a better team than us right now. Maybe earlier in the year when we were streaking, we were on their level with the Tigers, but not anymore. In play, and Anthony fouls out to third, 1 away. Next up, 0 for 3 with a K, catcher Carlos Narvaez. First pitch to Narvaez, high and away with a 4-seam fastball, 1-0 count. Look at that catch by Williamson. What a fucking G, dude. Williamson is not your everyday, normal, average, third baseman. He gives you Eugenio Suarez vibes, but he'll give you some magic, once a game. Nice job by Big Ben. 1-0 pitch, low and away, fouled off. 1 ball and 1 strike to Narvaez. What effort. Could you only imagine if Randy Arozarena hustled like that every day, how much better we would be as a team? 1-1 pitch, high and inside, 4-seam fastball, 94 miles an hour. 2 balls and 1 strike from Thornton to Narvaez. Come on, Thornton. 2-1 pitch, fouled off right down the middle. 2 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. Thornton on the mound, Narvaez in the box. And so far, Thornton has actually been the good Thornton. Out of like 10 opportunities, he'll do good 1 time out of 10. And I guess this is the 1 time, but we're not out of the inning yet. But so far, so good in the 8th. Let's see if he can do it in the 9th as well. Two-two pitch. High and away, 4-seam fastball, 94 miles an hour, misses the strike zone, tries to paint the corner and doesn't get it. Count now is full, 3 balls and 2 strikes, nobody on and 1 out, 2-0 Red Sox lead. 4 more likes to 60, let's get there. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do, help us get there. And we're at, 143 on the Dono train, 57 to go to get to 200. Top of the 9th, 2-0 Red Sox. Thornton on the mound, Narvaez in the box. 3-2 pitch, fouled off with the sinker right down the middle, 91 miles an hour. Count is still full. 3-2 pitch, Fouled off again, right down the middle with a cutter this time, 89 miles an hour. 3 balls, 2 strikes, nobody on and 1 out. And there's the walk. Narvaez to first. All right, now we need a double play. Slow dribbler right up the middle, and then we get out of this inning and pray that we get to 2 runs or 3 and win in regulation, or tie it 2-2 and win it in 10, 11, or 12. Next up is third baseman 0 for 3 with a K, Marcelo Mayer. And Marcelo needs to have a slow dribbler right up to JP, throw to first, and that's really going to be the only way we're going to get out of this. I mean, unless he punches him out and we get the force out at second and the next out. But, you know, it'd be nice to get a double play here. First pitch, fouled off. High and inside, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch. Fouled off, low and away in the zone. Behind the count, 0-2 to Marcelo Mayer. Top of the ninth, runner at first with 1 out, 2-0 Red Sox lead. Thornton on the mound, Mayer in the box with an 0-2 count. One more strike, baby. Let's go. Oh-2 pitch, low and at the knees with the cutter by Thornton. 1 ball and 2 strikes with runner at first and 1 out. Come on, baby. We need a rally. Come on, Thornton. Give us a chance. 1-2 pitch, and got him. Mayer strikes out swinging. Trent Thornton, he must have ate his Wheaties this morning. Down goes Mayer, 2 away. Now we don't need the double play. Now we just need Story to ground out, pop up, or strike out, looking or swinging. 0 for 2 with a walk and a K. Shortstop Trevor Story. Let's get out of this inning, or even a force out at second. Let's go Mariners. First pitch from Thornton to Story. Big swing and a miss outside of the zone, 0-1 count. Come on, Thornton. If Thornton actually gets out of this jam, it's not really a serious one, but again, runner at first. But if he can keep it 2-0, you know, this might be one of the better outings that he's had, let alone in the 8th inning, but also coming in and pitching the 9th. Still, that shouldn't be on our team, but, you know, nice to see him actually do well up to this point. 0-1 pitch, fouls that one off high and inside. Sweeper, 79 miles an hour. 1 strike away from getting out of this inning. Come on, Thornton. And there's no guarantee the Mariners are going to get anything in the bottom of the 9th, but, you know, again, we can pray and hope that we can find a way to tie this game up. But again, we had a similar scenario when we were down 3-2 to the Guardians, and their closer, Clase, you know, had an epic meltdown and gave up 2 runs, and we won 4-3 in the 9th. Not saying that that's going to happen here, but, you know, it's possible. 0-2 pitch, fouled off, high and away. Sweeper, 79 miles an hour by Thornton. No balls and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 2 outs. Top of the 9th, Red Sox up 2-0. 0-2 pitch, low and away. Tries to paint the corner and misses by 2 feet with the curveball, 80 miles an hour. 1 ball and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 2 outs. 2-0, Boston lead. 1-2 pitch, fouls that one off. Good souvenir for that fan. 4-seam fastball, 93 miles an hour by Thornton. Come on, Trent. Yeah, but you got to remember, you know, and that shit happens. You know, a lot of teams are not going to score when they have bases loaded, runners at first and second, runners at second and third, and no outs. I mean, ideally, you should get at least 1 minimum, but sometimes it just doesn't work, you know? Sometimes you get guys that strike out with too much pressure, or they're just off. And, you know, JP would have been the guy to get us something in that inning, and he just couldn't get it done. You know, he's great with bases loaded, a career 400 hitter with bases loaded. But Julio and Cal haven't done shit for us in quite a few games. They didn't do anything in the Guardian series, and they haven't done anything here either. In play, and Story flies out to left, and Trent Thornton actually gets us out of the 9th inning. Incredible. Still deserves to not be on our team or even on AAA. but I'm happy that he was actually able to do good in the 8th and the 9th to not expand the lead from 2 to 3 to 5 to 8. It's still manageable now, and let's see if we actually have a chance here. Next up for the Mariners, 0 for 3 with a K, Randy Arozarena. Hitting for Rowdy Tellez, right fielder Dylan Moore. And the best case scenario for him again might be getting plunked or walked. And then batting third in the inning, I believe, will be Dominic Canzone. So I don't think you're going to have anybody pinch hit. If Luke Raley was available, I think I would rather go Luke Raley than Dylan Moore, but we might not see Luke Raley until tomorrow or the next day. But again, this has been a very low hitting game, and yeah, we ended up leaving bases loaded, with nothing, with no outs. But again, this has been a pitcher's duel. 10 Ks for Giolito, 10 Ks for Gilbert. Literally, only 4 hits per team. It's just that they had a solo dinger, and they had an RBI by Abraham Toro, and that's it. So, again, it's not like, we're getting mashed. We're down 10-0. It's not like they have 12 hits and we only have 4. They only have 4, but again, 48% of our runs typically scored in 2025 are home runs. And when we don't homer at least once, we typically lose. So, again, we have to find a way to homer, at least once in a game. And if we don't, it's going to be very tough to win. And again, it's not like we're scoring 6 runs a game like we did in our winning streak. We're scoring 1 to 3. And unfortunately, a lot of games we're at 0, 1, or 2. And hard to win games when you're not producing in that route. And I feel bad because, Logan Gilbert in his first start since April 25th, I would have never dreamed of 10 Ks in his first start after seeing George Kirby come off the IL and be terrible in his first 3 starts and then have that 14K career game in his 4th start. So, Logan is ahead of schedule, but the bats, obviously here today have not been good. But you also have to give credit to the Red Sox. Their pitching has been good. So what can you do? First pitch to Aroldis Chapman to Randy Arozarena. Takes a strike looking. High and inside, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss right down the middle. Behind the count, 0-2. Come on, Randy. O2 pitch, high and away, 1 ball and 2 strikes to Randy Arozarena. Come on, baby. 1-2 pitch, big swing and a miss. Down goes Randy, 1 away. Next up, 0 for 0 with a walk. It's Demo Dylan Moore. First pitch to Dylan Moore, low and at the knees, 1-0 count. I know, we need him. Just as detrimental to us not getting on the board when we had bases loaded and no outs in the 3rd and got nothing. I think that what was even more, critical was just in that previous inning, when we ended up having guys at 1st and 2nd, with no outs, with Cole Young and JP getting walked and Julio being an idiot. And then Cal striking out after that. If we could have gotten Julio on with a walk, and had bases loaded for Cal, maybe something better happens. And then, you have a different approach, with bases loaded there for Cal to come up with a big moment. So I feel like Julio, in that particular situation, not reading the room, where that pitcher had 8 consecutive balls, that kind of fucked us too. 1-2 pitch, low and away, splitter by Aroldis Chapman, 91 miles an hour, 2 balls and 2 strikes to Dylan Moore. 2-2 pitch, and there's Demo again, striking out swinging, 2 away. This might be over. And again, I kind of felt the same way when we were down 3-2 in the 9th, but, now we need a miracle. Next up, right fielder Dominic Canzone, and they decide to pinch hit Donovan Solano. Golly, really? Donovan Solano? And he's better than Mitch Garver, and because he's a lefty, I understand why they're doing it, because Canzone is a lefty, and they think that a lefty on a lefty can't work, which is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in sports. Like, someone needs to change that perception in sports. Like, if Dominic Canzone is a better hitter than Solano as a lefty, you're telling me that you don't think that he can get a hit off a left-handed pitcher? Stupid. First pitch to Donovan Solano, takes a strike swinging, 0-1 count. Golly. Ending the game with Donovan Solano? Come on. Who is this, Scott Service? Oh, 0-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss by Solano. Behind the count now 0-2. We're one strike away from losing 2-0. We're going to be better tomorrow with Brian Wu, as well as Luis Castillo in the rubber match. But again, Red Sox, feeding off that sweep on the Yankees. We felt pretty good sweeping the Guardians, and we won 2 out of 3 in Boston. And that's the first time that we've won a series in Boston in 10, 11 years. But the Red Sox are coming out with a fury, and when you got guys like Julio that can't read the room and read the pitcher, sometimes this shit happens. No balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 outs, 1 strike away from game over here from Aroldis Chapman. But we still have a good chance with Wu and Castillo. But, and there it is. Big swing and a miss, and that is game over. GG to all the Red Sox fans. Again, the only positive thing that you could say for the Mariners is that Logan Gilbert is back. And again, 10 Ks, he gave up 3 runs or less. But again, we couldn't get any production out of any of our hitters. And that's going to be a problem. But I think that we will be better in games 2 and 3. I do believe that we can get to 4 to 5 runs in each of those games, and hopefully they can learn from this experience. But you definitely got to give credit to Giolito and the Red Sox. They did a great job today with pitching. But again, remember, 4 hits each. So this wasn't a game where we got absolutely obliterated and they had 10 hits and we only had 4. We both had 4. We both had no errors. But the bottom line is they homered, we didn't. They won, we lost. So tough one. But again, we will be back tomorrow, and I feel that we will be able to bounce back. Shout out to all the people that liked, subbed, donated, commented, shared. Shout out to All Day and Captain Oreo for holding it down and helping us get to 60 likes. You guys are awesome. Shout out to Sarah, Cole, Mr. Williams, and Mr. Williams. $3, $1, $50, $20, and $69 donos to get us to 143. And again, final score, Boston Red Sox 2, Seattle Mariners 0. Disappointing game for us. Great win for the Red Sox, especially with the Devers trade to the Giants. Obviously they're on an emotional high right now. And again, we just got to battle back with Brian Wu tomorrow, and I believe that we will. Have a great rest of your Monday night. I'm not going to let this ruin my day. And again, I know that we're going to compete tomorrow. And I got one question for you. We know talk sports like us. Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, and I'm out. Tridents up. Go Mariners.